Yeah. Wanna go to war?
Let's do it. I'm Black Hannibal, running through your capital on elephants. Civilize a savage with my elegance. Militant intelligence, run through your defense. Strike like a ninja, slice, cut, and injure. Leave no prisoners, just bodies on the battlefield. I'm Spartacus with a sword and shield. Something like a marksman with cold blue steel. War paint on my face, keep my identity concealed. Advance on your camp like dozens of killer ants. Snatch your king like chess, checkmate, this is death. While my team have fun with your queen. Throw your bishops off the roof, your knights flee the scene. I plant bombs in the home of your pawns. The detonation shook the foundation of your rooks. Holding shotguns with double barrels. They impact so hard when it blasts through your body travels. Yeah. Street Spartacus. Yeah. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Burn your flag as I overthrow your government. New politics, no Democrats and Republicans. Spiritual systems built by wise men who's true in living. The foundation's no longer Christian. Teaching universally the wisdom of the nations. New currency, no more dollar bills with white faces. No more Caucasian domination. All races participate in cultivating education. The people hungry and they ain't waiting. No more debating. Let's overthrow the haven to Satan. This whole world needs some new changes. Rulers with new faces. It's time to take out the racists. Spartacus from the new ages. From the page to the stage, pull a blade on the money changers. Spartacus from the new ages. From this page to the stage, pull a blade on the money changers. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm, what's going on? I hope everybody can hear me who is in the chat. Shout out to Ife, what's going on? Ife, shout out to Alaskan Avatar, what's going on? We in the building, late night here in New York, 1:10 to be exact. But I'm here with y'all. I took a beautiful nap, so I'm rejuvenated, ready to chat. And of course, you know, the big thing was this Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar that recently happened. And I want to tie some of the symbolism on this. All right. Thank you, Avatar. I appreciate you letting me know that. All right. I want to tie in some of the symbolism and with the new Captain America movie, also the full moon in Leo. What's up, Real T? The full moon and Leo energy that's coming up really well today, actually. Here in New York, it's going to be at 5:53 a.m. I'll probably be back in bed. But, you know, during the day, the next 3 days, that full moon energy is still alive. It's still popping. It's still amplified. So you could use that full moon energy really up until what's Wednesday, until Saturday, really to take advantage of that energy and utilize it, right, for whatever ritual, whatever manifestation, whatever change, whatever transformation, right? Don't just use spirituality to get material, aka mundane things. Use spirituality also to grow, right, to develop yourself, to become a God man, God woman, higher being, higher self, to escape 3D reality and to be able to tap into fifth dimensional reality, right? So that's the purpose here. So I didn't watch this, just a brief, we're going to get right into it, but just a brief disclaimer. I watched the halftime show live, right? I did my own rituals during the halftime show live, which was very intense for me, right? My eyes closed during a lot of it. So I didn't see a lot of it, right? But to me, it's like, now it's become a ritual space. So when I do go back and watch it, right, I'm going to be doing rituals and it's going to be playing in the background because I ritualized it with just my visualization. I had something written down that I wanted to do, that I wanted to visualize and basically harness the energy from all those people that were there. When there are big events, Super Bowls, holidays, right? Award shows, things that a lot of people are focusing their attentions on, those are great times, even like when people are in church on Sunday, right? When there's a big event, a lot of people are in church on Sunday. Those are events that you want to take your time to harness that energy, because where there's a lot of focus and attention, there's currency, right? We live in an attention economy. So, for instance, if you have a video that goes viral, right? It's a lot of eyes on that video. There's a lot of attention on that video, which means there's a lot of energy, right? You are, whatever you're on, YouTube, Meta, whatever, TikTok, you're able to generate currency based on that video. Of course, based on your settings or whatever the qualifications are, but you're able to generate actual monetary funds based on those videos, right? So whatever you are paying attention to, right, there is an electrical charge. There is an exchange of energy, right? In fact, it is a sacred energy exchange, right? Even though it's not necessarily sex or sexual, right? It is sacral, right? Which means it is sensual and it is creative. So you'll be able to use that energy for whatever you want to create in order to manifest whatever you want, right? And with this Super Bowl also being in New Orleans, right, had to know there was some magic that was happening, right? So without further ado, I'm going to bring up this particular sister. Shout out to Ife for sharing this with me, because I was looking for a resource or somebody that broke it down. And I'm going to get into other things other than just the necessary show, because again, this is going to tie everything in, even the full moon and Leo energy, right? So that you could use this to your benefit, because spirituality, right, that does not change your reality, is vanity. My purpose of with this channel is not to have you know a lot of shit, right? It's not to have you know everything in the universe and be able to, see every spirit in the universe or whatever, right? In fact, if you are able to see spirits, and once you get to that point where you're able to see spirits, I guarantee you're not going to want to see spirits for too much longer, right? You're going to want to turn it off at some point in time, because you'll end up becoming schizophrenic, believe it or not, right? There's some people that are in the mental hospitals that can see spirits, right? And were able to see them at a young age, but did not have the proper tutelage, the proper guidance, the proper parents to let them know how to use that energy. So therefore, they, for lack of a better term, crashed out, and people call them crazy, right? Go watch the movie Dr. Sleep, right? And see what they do to gifted children, right? And it usually is done by the parents, because parents, as a great Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff said, they just don't understand a lot of times. Sometimes we are born from vessels that just don't get where we're trying to go, or don't really understand our blueprints, because they're in survival mode, right? They're trying to survive the best way they know how, especially those of us that come from harsh urban environments. So anyway, let me get into this. This is by the Queen Poe, right? She did a masterful job. Going to be opening it up, just like we all opened up from two sisters, right? Two queens, two goddesses, if you will, right? Now, I don't know them personally, but I know this is some goddess level energy that they're delivering. So let me just do this. I might have to switch this up. But smash that like button if you are here. A couple Instagram. Okay, this is the one. All right. I'll make sure y'all can see what I see. All right, boom. So this was a masterful job, I think, breaking this down. I had another sister on my page that broke it down as well, but this was a really, really good job. So, shout out to her. She has a YouTube channel too, so subscribe to her channel as well.
The symbolism in Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. Let me break it down for you. Let's start with the game loading, signifying and setting the tone of what the theme of this performance would be, which is that we are playing the great American game, and not just playing it, but battling against the great American game. It starts out with this game board that has the X, the circle, the square, and the triangle, similar to a game controller. And behind them in the stands, they had the loading that was done by lights in the stand. And so it said like 55% loading with the loading bar. And at the end, it said 100% loaded, signifying that it's time for the game to begin. This was good. Then we have the legend, the iconic Samuel L. Jackson, who's everybody's uncle in the Black community. He's playing the role of Uncle Sam, who's a representation of the American government, and he welcomes us to the great American game. Now, what makes this so interesting is that in Django, Samuel L. Jackson played the sellout. He played the Sambo, right? So for him to be playing Uncle Sam and representing the larger white society, representing the government, telling Black people to be quiet, to be comfortable. In order to win the game, you have to be less of your authentic self, to simmer down and not do too much. Don't be too loud. Don't be too reckless. Anything you do will be deemed as ghetto and unnecessary if it makes the larger majority, as we've been told, uncomfortable. So this role for Sam was perfect.
It's your uncle, Sam. And this is the great American game.
Then we get Kendrick rapping a whole new verse that nobody has ever heard on top of the G and X, which really sets the tone that he's in today's time. This is about today's music. Ain't gonna be too many throwbacks for this performance here. And on top of that, he says the revolution will be televised. They picked the right time, but the wrong guy, which lets you know that I'm here with a message. This is not just about music. Pay close attention. It's also an ode to the revolution will not be televised by Gil Scott-Heron. Do your Googles.
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
Well, you know, the catchphrase, what that was all about, the revolution will not be televised, that was about the fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move.
Then to have the all Black dancers dressed in red, white, and blue as he performs Squabble Up, which symbolizes that we are not going to just play the American game, baby. We ready to squabble up with the American game, because let us remind you that Black people are the culture. We are American culture. We're the culture around the world. And Kendrick kind of mentioned this during his Grammys acceptance speech when he said, listen, rap culture, hip hop culture is the culture. We are the foundation. So having Black people dressed in red, white, and blue and forming the American flag is a symbol that our culture, that Black culture, Black blood, Black bodies are the foundation of America. Now that Kendrick has decided to squabble up and play the game, Uncle Sam comes back and tells him, you're too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Don't you know how to play the game? Symbolizing you need to be quiet. If you want to win this game, be quiet, be mild, be meek. You will not win by squabbling up. Be silent. Suffer in silence. Which haven't we been told that for so long? Then Kendrick switches to Be Humble, which was such an amazing song choice considering what Uncle Sam just said. And he has the Black dancers who are dressed in red, white, and blue, shaped in the form of the American flag, which symbolizes the Black experience in America. It's just the sign of just going along with the flow in America. And then they switch to pose, and some are fist in the air, which is a sign of unity, revolutionary power, while others have their arms down, which is a sign that they may want a different type of revolution, or they may not be aligned with that form of revolution. And then they all in a collective bow down, right? And then come back up, and they switch into these karate poses. They start doing these different karate poses, which is a sign of collective unity in fighting against oppression in the system. And one of the most symbolic poses was this one, where after all of the revolutions, after the different fights, they just eventually bow down and stand back up and march military style to the next scene. Now, I have to acknowledge the symbolism of all of this occurring within the square. If you understand the square within the Black community, it is an old saying to stand on your square, to stand on your dean. And the square represents us standing in our power, standing in our purpose, and knowing who we are. He is telling the story of Black history in America through all of this symbolism. And one of the most interesting things is that the flag is divided, and he, the storyteller of the Black American experience, is standing in the middle of that division. Now, this scene was brilliant because he transitioned transitions to the next chapter of the Black American story, which was after the revolutions. And after the revolutions, they created a new form of slavery known as the prison industrial complex. And if you see at the top in lights, it says warning, wrong way, signifying that we are going in the wrong direction. Warning, warning. I'm telling y'all that we are moving backwards. That's what he's constantly letting us know throughout this entire show. Now we have the prison industrial complex where he's showing us we're going to be headed right back to a new form of slavery, just like they did with the prison industrial complex. Now, in this prison yard, he performs DNA, reminding us that we are royalty. We have loyalty in our DNA. Know who you are. Have knowledge yourself. Remember your power as a Black person. And he also performs Euphoria and then eases into Peekaboo as he transitions over to the X. Now, what's important to recognize prison yard is he has the street lights, and they are the street lights watching over the yard, which symbolizes quite a few things. Number one, we are always being watched. We are always being observed. The lights are always on the Black community because, once again, we are the culture. We are America. But also mind the watchful eye, mind the evil eye that is watching over you, attempting to trap you in. And within the prison yard, he's showing that we still build community. As he's performing, he has the old doo-wop harmonies happening behind him, because despite this new form of slavery that impacted the Black community, we still found a way to be beautiful and bold and Black, and so very much worthy of everything we deserve that is centered in aligned and wellness. We found a way to create music. And remember, this is about the 40 acres and a mule. This is bigger than the music. So he's telling a story about the music and beyond.
Scorekeeper, deduct one life.
Then he transitions into the X, which is one of my favorite scenes because it represents the merging of the divine feminine and sacred masculine energy that we have within all of us, but that really uphold the foundation of the Black community. The brothers are vibing out to Peekaboo, and then they all come together and the space opens up and the sisters enter into the X, and Kendrick goes over to consult with the sisters, which was a constant theme throughout the entire show. Throughout the entire show, Kendrick was always consulting with the sisters and telling them what was on his mind and asking for their advice, asking what he should do. That is a symbolism of the brothers, the divine masculine energy, needing to kind of unload that logic mind and get some of that divine feminine intuition and guidance and advisement. That was just beautiful.
No, they not like us. They not like us. No, they not like us. No. Like
and then they transition to the triangle where they began to perform the love songs, the ballads with SZA. SZA and Kendrick coming together and performing at the center of the triangle represents the power of Black love, building the Black family unit, which makes up the Black community. You have the two parents coming together to create and manifest the child and continuing on the generations, the legacy of the Black community. Then they transition to the circle where he and SZA perform All of the Stars, and the circle represents a clock moving, time passing by, but then they move counterclockwise, which is a sign that we are going backwards in time. Now, right after this, Uncle Sam comes back and praises Kendrick for doing a good job by being silent, docile, calm.
Oh no, it's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres and a mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
And as Kendrick said, this is bigger than the music. So him performing Not Like Us is not just about Drake, but it's about understanding who we are as Black people in America, us reclaiming our crown and remembering who's not like us. We got to get these squares up out our circle, which is one of the reasons he returned to the square where he performed Not Like Us before ending with TV off, reminding us that the full revolution will not be televised. Stop being programmed. Turn the TV off.
Turn this TV off. Turn this.
Did you catch all of the symbolism in Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show? Let me break it down for you. Let's start with the game.
All right, so excellent takes, as Alaskan Avatar said. Excellent takes, excellent breakdown. Like I said, some of it, my eyes just shut, like it wasn't even it wasn't even something that I was trying to do. I guess whatever I was focusing on, it just required the intensity of triple stages of darkness, so to speak, right? So when it happened, I was like, wow, I was going into a meditative trance, and it was a really good thing, but I didn't want to watch it again. Like I said, it's kind of like a sacred ritual space. But she broke it down to the very last compound. But I'm gonna add my own perspective on some of the things as well. All right. So let's get into this, and we're gonna add this to the stage. All right, so GNX, right? This was Kendrick Lamar's latest album named GNX, right? And also it represented the black muscle car, this black Buick, right? Which is very rare. I think there's only a limited amount of these that are still out. And it's one of the very powerful car from what I read and from what I studied about it. It's a very, very powerful car, very powerful engine, right? But it's also a cool looking car, right? I like the way it looks. It reminds me of I don't know if he was driving this in Training Day, Alonzo in the movie Training Day, right? Denzel Washington. I think he was driving this GNX in Training Day, right? I didn't go back and look at it, but now that I'm looking at it, right, that's the first thing that's popped into my mind. So when I heard GNX, right, this reminds me also of genetics, right? GNX, genetics, the X chromosome, right? Or the double X chromosome, which is the divine feminine energy, which represents dark matter, the dark mother, right? Or the cosmos itself, right? Us coming from Amenta, as the Cometians teach, right? Or the land of Amen, which is what Christians say at the end of their prayers without even knowing where it comes from, right? But that is what they would call cosmic background radiation, right? Or even prior to cosmic background radiation. Or you could simply just call it the subconscious mind, right? Because we're all developed in the womb, right? We're all developed in the lower three chakras of our mother's womb, right? So that's where we are nurtured, that's where we are fed, and that's where we grow, right? But there's something unique and something interesting about, right, our genetics, right? Our DNA, those of us that are melanated, right? Those of us that are original peoples, right? Those of us that are indigenous peoples. There's something unique and resilient and strong that is within our genetics, right? And as we go through this, right, you'll see the strength. And this also corresponds to this new moon and Leo energy, right? He did this on a sun day, right? The sun corresponds to Leo. The sun corresponds to Leo. The sun also corresponds to Heru, which we'll get into. But this is also a different way of looking at light, if you will, a different form of perception, right? Because the sun, as I always say, the sun doesn't care about your race. The sun doesn't care about your creed. The sun doesn't care about your class. When the sun shines, everybody's going to see it. When the sun shines, right, which is coming up in spring, right, people are going to be outside. People are going to be moving about. People are going to be on vacation. People are even going to be in sexual relations, right? Valentine's Day is coming up, right? People are going to be linking up, right? Because the sun stimulates that type of energy. Flowers are going to be growing. Insects are going to be coming out, right? Animals are going to be coming out of hibernation, right? So light always comes out of darkness. So right now, we're in the dark days, if you will, which is the winter season. And the winter season is always a dark time. And it's a time where a lot of people go into depression, right? It's a time where a lot of people like myself, right? I was diagnosed, even though I don't claim it, but I was diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder syndrome, which means when it gets dark, right, I could easily go into depression, right? So what I have to do is I have to go out, go walk. I have to go out, get sun, right? I have to intake more vitamin D, whether it's from vegetables or supplements, right? These things so that I could continue to channel light when there's not a lot of light outside, right? So this is also maintaining a muscle car, right? Or maintaining a car that's high powered, right? Like I always say, a lot of melanated people are like Ferraris, right? But Ferraris that's drive around the projects and put unleaded gas in the tank, right? With this GNX, I'm sure you can't just put unleaded gas in the tank and for you to get the maximum power that you're going to get, right? So this goes also to the information that you're taking in. Light is food for thoughts, right? The same way you digest food in your body to give you energy, which is why it's important that your diet is balanced, right? And that you have or intaking fruits and vegetables and greens and things like that, and certain supplements, right? Things like what's the name of this thing I've been taking lately? Trace mineral drops, right? Putting this in your water because we don't get enough magnesium and things like that, right? But things that now are powering your natural muscle car, right? Powering this particular energy. And this is not me, being tribal or separating, but melanated people, we have a unique responsibility, right? And this is what this whole show, this whole Super Bowl was about. And with it taking place in New Orleans, there's a lot of magic. There's a lot of occultism. There's a lot of metaphysical, mystical energy going on, right? Like our Alaskan Avatar was saying, right? The PlayStation servers were down for 24 hours, right? I don't remember which day. I think it was Friday. Correct me if I'm wrong, or Saturn day, right? But I believe it was Friday or going into Saturday, right? Correct me in the comments. But if it was Saturday, then that's definitely a sign and symbol within itself of him controlling time, right? Which you saw in the video. Queen Poe was showing that they were going clockwise, and they first went clockwise, then went counterclockwise towards the end of the Super Bowl, right? It started at the end, it was going clockwise, right? They were going clockwise in the circle, then they went counterclockwise to show that they are controlling time, or that we are time controllers, and that we are able to utilize what this so-called time that doesn't really exist, right? In order to create and place things in spaces which would correspond to something like quantum physics or quantum entanglements, what Einstein called spooky action at a distance, right? So this is the ability to utilize this black body, right? This black body radiation, which is the foundation of all things, this carbon-based body, right? This copper skin tone body to its maximum heights. When I saw this also reminded me of the movie Get Out, right? Where the character Christ, right? The character Chris, the main character, where they were like poking him. Remember them before they were trying to take his body? If you saw the movie Get Out, they were poking him and prodding him, right? Right before they put him under the spell, and were just like, and had him on an auction, right? And if you think about how we're utilized in modern day America, right? Even in corporate America as human resources, right? There's places where I've worked where the melanated people are getting paid less than the Caucasian people, and they're doing the same jobs, right? Like it's, and of course, there's like not much you could do about it unless you could actually get the records and prove it, right? But there's things like this that do happen. There are other and different forms of discrimination, racism, right? But we don't want to use these things as a crutch. What we want to do is tap into our inner magic, tap into our inner power, tap into our GNX, tap into our genetics, and unlock the junk DNA through the light that we are taking in, through sourcing light through the darkness, right? This is a black car, right? This is a dark car, right? Through utilizing this energy, right, to power us. Okay, he said the service came back on Saturday night. So that means all day Saturn day, which is a significant, black is a color of Saturn, right? Black is the color of Saturn. All day, every day. Planet Saturn. So the planet Saturn governs time. So my idea is Kendrick and them probably was with some Babalao, some priests, some priestesses, some Hogans, right, in New Orleans, doing some conjure right before the Super Bowl with his team, because Kendrick is symbolically aware, right? So I'm sure he was doing some magic and shut down the whole PlayStation, which helped charge, right? And this is how magic works, right? Which helped charge his Super Bowl performance and made it profound, right? Let's keep going, because there's a lot to get into. And of course, right, Kendrick is draped up in the American flag, and really melanated people, they built this country, right? There's a lot of people that were saying like, oh, why did he use the flag? Why is the flag, the imagery, like the flag is not for us and the flag represents so many things. But what about the Civil War, right? Where our ancestors died fighting. Go watch the movie Glory, Denzel Washington, right? Where our ancestors died fighting for freedom with the hopes that we could exist how we exist today, right? With the freedom to go where we want to a degree, right? And do what we want, right? With the freedom within liberty that we have. This is what about, the people that fought in not just civil rights, but the Black men and women that went over to Vietnam and lost their lives, right? Like there are melanated people that fought the Iraq wars, all these different wars. There's melanated people that fought for this country, right? That fought for their rights, fought for their freedoms and things like that. So while America does have a lot of wickedness, which we know, a lot of corruption, which we know, there is also, this is a unique place where people all over the world look at melanated people for leadership, right? Not just in style, not just in dance, not just in music, right? Those mundane things, but also the way we handle, right, civil rights or human rights and things like that, the way we step up and fight for what we want, the way we challenge the system, the way we buck the system. And every single fight, whether it's for the LGBTQ, whether it's for Caucasian women, whether it's for whatever, right? Melanated people, to whether it's good or bad, whatever you want to see it as, are participating in helping other people. Now, I personally think we need to take that energy and focus it on us and people of like mind, aka allies of our best, right? Or want to see our best, but we cannot say that this land is not ours, especially if you're calling yourself an FBA or ADOS or whatever, right? Even if you come here as an immigrant, right? You came here, or your parents came here for a reason, right? To take advantage of the ability to live a certain lifestyle, to live in more comfort, to, gain, there's some places where, like in India, if you're born melanated, you're in a caste and you're stuck there. You can't go any higher. This is why when they come here and they try to be disrespectful to Black people or so-called Black people, I tell them quick, right here in New York City, I'll clap them up quick. Like, what are you talking about? Like, in your country, like, you would be cleaning toilets, right? Forever, for the rest of your life. Like, so don't come here, especially the darker ones. Like, don't come here and try to stun on us. You know what I'm saying? So once you understand other people's history, you're able to put them in their place, even Caucasians, right? When you understand their history, you're able to put them in their place. But you want to understand that, yes, the red, white, and blue, yes, there's a lot of oppression under it, but there's also a lot of good parts, right? There's a lot of optimism. There's a lot of courage, right? Which is Leo energy, right? There's a lot of strength, which is Leo energy. There's a lot of resilience, which is Leo energy behind this flag, all right? But we're also going to get into the metaphysics of this flag, because we don't just want to stay on the surface level. So let's go. So Uncle Sam was in this, right? Was in this particular movie, or well, it is like a movie, right? But this particular Super Bowl. And Sam Jackson obviously is wearing the red, white, and blue as well. A lot of people reference Django in the Decode, right? But Sam Jackson didn't just play in Django, right? He played in a lot of different roles. Why everybody's talking about, Django, I really don't know. But I guess that's the most. But even in Django, right? In Django, he's the one that ran the house. Like, he's the one that ran the whole Candyland. It was him. It was Steven, right? He knew where everything was going. He's the one that exposed the scheme with Jamie Foxx and his wife, right? He's the one who actually ran Candyland, right? But he was still subservient, right? And it is kind of the same thing when you have, like, for instance, the DEI conversation. where there's only 4% of melanated people that actually get jobs or actually get funding through DEI. 4%. Most of the DEI funds go to Caucasian people, go to the LGBTQ, go to veterans, go to white men, right? Go to Native Americans. So we are still at the bottom of receiving these quote unquote DEI funds, right? So part of the game is thinking that you are playing the game, right? But the game is really being played on you. And a lot of the game is that you're trying to play is to become a consumer. Like the average person thinks that you're going to get your freedom through financial means because God is money in America, right? In fact, on the dollar bill, it says, "In God we trust." And it has your ancestor symbols with the pyramid, right? And the eye of providence and the eagle, which is really the falcon, which we're going to get into, right? Or Heru. And it's really your science that is on the dollar bill. It's really a spell cast to make you get away from tapping into your own eye of providence, which is your third eye, which is your higher perception, which is opening up your pineal gland, right? Which is you feeding yourself, again, good food for thought, right? Feeding your gut, which stirs up your serotonin, which is the mood hormone in you, right? Eating, again, green foods that take in sunlight, right? Fruits that directly take in sunlight, right? And even though I know they're being corrupted and things like that, right? Setting your attentions over your food, setting your attentions over your water, right? So that you could project your energy. See, we're more powerful than we know. We're more powerful than we think we are. I went to the Met Gala, not the Met Gala, where they have the Met Gala, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, right? Beautiful, beautiful exhibit about ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, right? And melanated people's influence and some of the modern art that they're doing. So they had things like by Sun Ra in there. They had different art exhibits. A lot of the stuff I put on my Instagram page, Ra_Black Storm. But when I went in there, the weird thing is like, and I get it, they don't want you to touch anything, right? But I was touching everything in there. The Scorpio, I'm a rebel by nature. So I'm touching everything, right? Because I'm trying to get to the source. I want to gather the energy. I want to feel it and gather the energy, right? Energy is energy in motion, emotion. So I want to feel it. I want to get that emotion. I want to get that energy, that frequency, and that vibration. So I'm touching stuff, right? And I'm getting charged. Like I'm feeling like literally an electrical charge going through my body from certain things, and certain places, like at least like by the third time, I was like, all right, they're going to kick me out, right? Because then I started seeing people like literally following me in the museum. But this is the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, right? And this is where they do the Met Gala, and they do a lot of rituals. So a lot of stuff in there is charged up. And what they want to do is distract you from your real power. It's not in purchasing power, right? There's no power like people be talking about, Black people or melanated people have like this financial, what does he call it? Purchasing power. There's no power in giving your money away. That's like you saying, oh, I'm powerful because, I'm sleeping with all these women every week. Like, no, one, you're going to be draining a lot of resources, right? Because you're going to have to feed, you're going to have to spend money on something, even if it's alcohol or weed or whatever, right? Two, you're going to be weaker, right? Because your body, you're draining your seed all the time, right? You're not a woman, so you just don't recharge like that as a man, right? And so the more you are putting currency, which is money, putting currency in other people's pockets, right, that don't support you, half the time don't even advertise to you or put you in their ads, right, which have to be shamed, aka Gucci, into putting somebody like Dapper Dan in Gucci. But yet, prior to that, they'll steal all his designs, right? And a lot of these fashion houses steal their designs from African prints and things like that, right? So America, right, is an amalgamation of a lot of our stuff, right? So Uncle Sam, in essence, is part of us, whether we like it or not, right? And maybe not in the in the symbolism that they're giving us, but the symbolism of melanated people's drive to survive and thrive here on the planet, right? And there's also a lot of melanated ties to this. So let's continue. So we're talking about Uncle Sam, right? And we're gonna dive into the whole this whole Captain America thing, right? This movie that's coming out on Valentine's Day. So Uncle Sam, let me change this view. So Uncle Sam, right, in this particular page says Uncle Sam, with the same initials as United States, is a common national personification of the United States, depicting the federal government or the country as a whole. Since the 19th century, Uncle Sam has been a popular symbol of U.S. government in American culture and a manifestation of patriotic emotion. Now, am I saying that melanated people should be like, yeah, you know, vote for this person or vote for that person? No, I'm not saying that. But if melanated people, it's not an if, melanated people built this country. They built America with their bare hands, right? Now, they were used as tools to build America, but they still built America, right? Without us, there would be no America. Even Trump said that in one of his speeches, right? So, but what they were using this is for the U.S. Army to recruit. And in this particular Super Bowl, Uncle Sam kept trying to get Kendrick to be docile, right? To be meek, right? To be humble, right? Even after one of the things he said, you know, to sit down, to be quiet, right? And that is what they want so that they could use you, right? In their army. And their army is you being an agent in the matrix, is you buying into the fact that once I get rich, right, you can't tell me nothing, right? Kanye West, right? Once I get this money, you can't tell me what to do. You can't stop me, right? And whether he's a clone or not, or whether he's MK Ultra or not, which is what I think he is, right? I think he's under MK Ultra right now because the way he's crashing out is extreme. You know what I'm saying? And I mess with Kanye. Like I'm a Kanye West fan. You know what I'm saying? I like Kanye West, but he's going beyond, as they say, beyond the pale, right? But it's about you being an agent in the matrix, right? So you being an Agent Smith, you being a soldier for their army. So you believing, oh yeah, if they DEI us, oh yeah, the DEI, that's great for us, right? That's gonna help us. You know, that's the thing that helped us do XYZ. Like, no, it's just a pacifier, right? Because there's still no melanated overall, no grand melanated anything, really, right? We're the big factories, right? Where's the hospitals? Where's the buses, right? Where's the really even the banks, right? A lot of the so-called banks, right? Where's the Freeman Bank, right? All these things are being stripped from us slowly but surely, and we've been given tokens, right? And things like that to placate us. So Uncle Sam, but the main thing about Uncle Sam is this, right? According to legend, the character came into use during the War of 1812 and has been named for Samuel Wilson, right? Has been named for Samuel Wilson. Keep that in mind, Samuel Wilson. We're going to tie this in, right? And some of you who are into the comics already are going to know what I'm talking about. But let's learn a little bit more about Uncle Sam. Let me turn the volume on. I'm going to share this. Learn a little bit more about Uncle Sam.
We all know Uncle Sam, the iconic American, but did you know a butcher? We all know.
Hold up, y'all. Let me get it right. Oh, there it is. Okay, y'all do see it.
Uncle Sam, the iconic American symbol, but did you know he was inspired by a real person? Meet Samuel Wilson, a butcher from Troy, New York. During the War of 1812, Samuel stamped the meat he delivered to American troops with the initials U.S., which stood for the United States. Soldiers began referring to their rations as coming from Uncle Sam. Fast forward to today, and Samuel Wilson's legacy lives on through his descendants, like Trey and Benjamin Luke Hauptman. Thanks to myheritage.com.
All right, so that's really all we need from that. So Samuel Wilson, what's up, Cash Barbie? Samuel Wilson, basically, right? And so remember, it's Uncle Sam, right? Samuel Wilson, Uncle Sam, which is Sam Jackson, Samuel Wilson, which was this person who stamped U.S. on these meats, right? You know what they say about black men's meat, right? We're going to tie it all in, right? So Uncle Sam, Samuel Wilson. So let's go, right? So the next thing. So who's Sam Wilson? Sam Wilson in the MCU is Captain America, right? Captain America, who is a melanated man, is Sam Wilson in the MCU. So that's the connection, right? So the red, white, and blue that Kendrick was utilizing, right? The flag that Kendrick was utilizing also is tied into Sam Wilson, which is, again, the Captain America, right? Or the movie that's coming out, Brave New World. So the red, white, and blue is not only the colors of the flag. The red, white, and blue are the colors of Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C. And the Cometians, right, the people of Egypt, in their wisdom, they mapped the three big pyramids according to Orion's belt. And that path to Orion's belt, if you saw the movie Men in Black, right? Remember, Orion's belt was on the neck of a cat, right? Or the neck of a Mao, or the neck of a Moor, right? El Maraka, America. We'll talk about that in a different video, right? But America, right? This whole red, white, and blue comes from the star Sirius. America was formed July 4th, 1776. The star Sirius starts showing up in the night sky on July 3rd of every year. So every year on July 3rd, you can see the star Sirius and it'll be glowing red, white, and blue, right? And some people say it is the three planets. So one is glowing red, one is glowing white, one is glowing blue. This is something that the Dogon, right? Dogon of Mali already saw, melanated people already saw before there were any telescopes, before scientists discovered it, right? They knew, excuse me, where'd that come from? They knew, like, damn, I ate shit. That was a lot of gas. Well, better coming out of here than coming out the booty, right? But anyway, this red, white, and blue energy, right, represents that star, but it also represents the body's electromagnetic field, right? So the Red Hulk in this particular instance is Trump. I said this in another video, right? So Trump is a representation of the Red Hulk. If you look at the Red Hulk and you see the haircut and you see the look, right, there's Trump 1,000,000,000,000%, right? And in the movie, right, let's get into the plot for people who don't, watch comic book movies or Marvels. So the plot is Sam, remember Uncle Sam, Sam Wilson is Uncle Sam, right? And this is, again, Sam Wilson. So it's just an interesting parallel, right? And this shows the value of a melanated man. And also, Captain America never was, like, there's this big beef or whatever with Anthony Mackie, who's playing Captain America, that where they're saying, oh, he doesn't represent America because he said Captain America doesn't represent America. But Chris Evans, the previous actor, the Caucasian who played Captain America, said exactly the same thing, because Captain America is not necessarily for America, right? If you looked at Civil War, Captain America's Civil War, right, it was him against Tony Stark. Tony Stark is Iron Man. Iron Man's colors are yellow and red. Red representing the root chakra, yellow representing the sacral chakra. If you study the Marvel universe, then you'll know that Tony Stark also brought in AI with the Age of Ultron, right? He created because he wanted to feel safe and secure, which is a root chakra thing, right? And his ego, right, the yellow, right, is tied into Tony Stark is an egomaniac, right? He wants to run everything. He thinks he knows everything, right? He doesn't listen to people. You know what I'm saying? He believes he's a genius playboy and nobody can tell him nothing, right? So he's the one that brought in the AI, which is what we're going through now, right? AI is coming in. People are nervous, right? People are wondering, is it going to be a new Terminator? I don't think that's going to happen. I believe that those of us that are waking up, and not just melanated people, but those of us that are on the same frequency as a high level melanated being, right, are going to be able to successfully short circuit their agenda and create our agenda, right? These are the last days of the American system. This is like in the Matrix when the Sentinels, right, are riding and coming, to destroy Zion, right? And then Neo, which was never just supposed to be the one, right? But all of us do have Neo energy in us. So anyway, the story of this particular movie, Captain America, which was previously called New World Order, but they changed the name to Brave New World, which again, that's bravery is a Leo sign and symbol, right? Bravery is a Leo archetype. It's a Leo personality trait, right? You're not going to see a Leo that's scared, right? You're not going to see Leos that are not bold and courageous for the most part, right? Leos are pretty bold. Leos like to be seen, right? Leos like to shine, right? Leos like to keep their head up, right? And Leos are usually risk takers, right? So that's the energy of Leo. But it says, so the movie is about, it says Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident after meeting with President Thaddeus Ross, aka the Red Hulk. He must soon discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. So there's also, right, the director is a melanated, super high dark skinned person, right? And I think, and also this particular suit is Wakandan that he is wearing. All right. So it comes from Wakanda. So there's a Black Pantherish element to this particular movie as well. But the shield also represents the body's electromagnetic field. All right. It represents the body's electromagnetic field, and it represents him being previously the Falcon. It represents Heru or Horus, right? The Falcon. And he doesn't have any particular powers, right? He doesn't have any super serum. But what he does have is strategy, right? What he does have is high intellect, right? And what he does have is a high moral compass, good character. So he's representing that Heru energy. This is also, Shield also represents three particular deities, which are, for the red, it represents Heru or Horus, the child, right? The blue, which is in the center, represents the melanated woman or Set or Isis, right? The color is blue. You could also tie it to Yemaya, right? The blue, and you could tie the red to Shango, right? Those of you who are into Ifa, right? But Horus, Yemaya, right? And then, which is fitting that's in the center because, again, we all come from a woman, right? We all come from, and we're all made of stardust. And that stardust is in the womb. It is formed in the womb, right? But it does need that spark of a sperm to hit the womb in order for it to be formed. So there's no hegemony, right? There's no, oh, we're better because we're women or we're better because we're men. No, it takes two to make a thing go right, to create that spark. And the white in the center represents, if you're into Ifa, could be Obatala. Well, it would be Obatala. And if you are using the Kemetic, the Kamau or the Egyptian, it would be Osir, right? So three deities. The electromagnetic field also represents the root, the feet, the root, the feet. The blue would be the gut, right? And the white would be the crown, right? Or above the crown chakra, so to speak. So this particular energy taps into as above, so below as well. So this is literally Uncle Sam, right? This is literally Uncle Sam in a nutshell. And as you see, Kendrick was also wielding these same colors in his Super Bowl show. So it's not a coincidence. It is confirmation. I had something up here, but for some reason, oh, there it is. All right. So, and just to get into, because remember, Sam Wilson, aka Captain America, is the Falcon, or was the Falcon, right? He has Falcon wings. So it says Heru is the Falcon as well, right? So some of the qualities of Heru, which you see in Captain America, even Chris Evans' version of Captain America, which are characteristics that we want to take on, not just as men, but also as women, right? This is what made us people that were revered at one point in time. Not just our creativity, not just our ingenuity, not just us being Moors and civilizing the people of Spain and civilizing the people of Europe, right? Taking them out of the dark ages, right? Bringing them into the age of enlightenment. Study some history, you'll see that clearly. But also the people of Kemet, right? Creating the pyramids, the people of Sudan creating pyramids, the people of Congo who introduced magic to the world, right? It was these traits, right, of being magnanimous, noble, lofty, desirous of power and leadership, full of vitality, humane, reserved, circumspect, zealous, above using underhanded means against an opponent, right? Now, if we look at the modern mystical community, we can't not say that this is something that we see on a regular basis, right? These things are rare amongst men and women, no matter how many onks you wear, no matter how many white garments, no matter how many head wraps, no matter how many crystals, right? Whatever outside thing you have, whatever society you have, you don't see a lot of people that are noble, right? You don't see a lot of people that are full of vitality. You don't see a lot of people that are above using underhand means to conquer an opponent. These are the same themes that Captain America had, that Kendrick, aka Mr. Morale, is talking about, and also, Heru. But these are this, and also, so Black Panther, this Captain America who's wearing a Wakandan suit, right? And Kendrick Lamar are putting out. So this is the energy, right? We're not worshiping anybody. We're not worshiping any celebrity, because many celebrities could be bought or sold. Who knows what Kendrick's going to do next year, 2 years from now, right? Who knows what he's going to, what type of mindset. So we don't want to follow any human, but we do want to understand the principles that are being conveyed and the time that we are in, especially with Trump being in office, right? There is a desire and a need for leadership, but we can't lead just because we're men, right? We can't lead just because we're women. We can't lead just because we read a lot of books and have a lot of intellect, right? Heru, Leo, that Leo energy, that sun energy, because Heru represents the sun, is about you leading from the heart chakra, right? The people of Egypt, they did not utilize the brain. When you died, they threw the brain away, right? They threw the brain away and they kept the heart. They preserved the heart. In fact, when you died, you could go watch the series American Gods, right? Anubis would judge you, the Anubis scale, right? Would place the heart on the feather. And if you're weighed down by the things of the world, weighed down by trying to figure out what the white man is doing next, weighed down by conspiracy theory, weighed down about when the aliens are coming, weighed down about, oh, what's the next fear that's going to happen, or weighed down by fear, anxiety, mistrust, right? You're supposed to be walking with this shield. You're supposed to be walking with a powerful aura. You're supposed to be walking with wings, right? With your ability, a falcon has the ability, a peregrine falcon to be exact, has the ability to see beyond just the terrestrial world, right? They have the ability to see beyond just what people are telling us to see, but beyond what the media is telling you to focus on. And what the media does is they have people on a constant hamster wheel, right? One day it's Kendrick. The next day it's plane explosions. The next day it's war in Ukraine. The next day it's war in Gaza. The next day is something this celebrity is doing. The next day it's some bad news that you heard in your neighborhood. The next day it's the demons and what the demons are trying to do. The next day is what the archons are trying to do, right? And they hit you from all different corners, and especially on social media, right? They'll have you going in the comment sections arguing with people that are bots, and you don't even know they're bots, right? But you're engaged in arguing with people that have a cartoon face and zero posts, zero followers, right? And it's just them following a whole bunch of people. So you got to understand that this the heart, it's the power of the heart that really matters. It's where your heart at, right? What type of heart energy are you putting forth, right? Is it one where truly the power is love? And love is not some soft, you know what I'm saying, mushy, love is telling people no. Like I always say that, love is telling people no. Love is saying, nah, I ain't doing that. Love is standing up for your family. Love is standing up for your children. Love is disciplining your children. Love is disciplining people who play with you, right? That's that electromagnetic shield that protects you from other people. Love is having boundaries and setting boundaries, right? If you're not setting boundaries, if you're letting people play with you, if you're letting people do what they want to you, and you feel like, oh, it's just you being nice, right? Because you were programmed as a Christian to turn the other cheek, then you don't respect yourself. Because even an animal, when pushed, is going to push back, right? So they try to, like Uncle Sam, right, was saying, they try to tell you, be calm, be nice, be docile. But you have to activate this electromagnetic shield. And how you activate this electromagnetic shield is twofold. It's not just you getting book knowledge. It's not just you getting book knowledge. A lot of people think that they are so smart because they read a lot of books, memorized a lot of stuff, right? And can regurgitate it in a masterful way. So that's what makes them highly spiritual, or that's what makes them highly, mystical or magical or whatever. But the real magic comes from you, comes from within. When you have a good heart, right? When you are a person that treats people fairly, that treats people justly, right? You don't have to post a lot of scriptures on Facebook or Instagram to try to show people how mystical and righteous or how godly you are. You don't have to post a lot of knowledge on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever. You don't have to post a lot of memes and things and try to discover all the secrets of the universe. No, all the secrets of the universe are within you. Everything you're looking for out there is within you. So go into your darkness, channel up your Kundalini, this is a year of the snake, right? Channel up this energy. Do what you focus on, do also what you're reading, do also what you're eating, right? Because it's a trinity, threefold process, right? It's not just you reading, again, it's not just you watching a bunch of YouTube videos or TikToks, right? Or memes, right? It's also, where's your diet? What's the diet looking like, right? This is how if you don't have enough chi, enough prana, enough kundalini energy, you're not going to be able to overcome shit in your life. It just is what it is. You need that physical energy, even if it is just to, let's say you want to stop smoking, right? You want to stop smoking cigarettes. When you want to stop smoking cigarettes or whatever you want to stop, right? Even dating somebody, right? That's toxic for you. You're going to have to ignore them. But your body's still going to crave that person. Your body's still going to crave that cigarette. Even if it's food, your body's still going to crave that food. You have to have the chi, the prana, the ra, the kundalini within, right? You. This is what willpower comes from, within you, to say, nah, I'm going to ignore this and let it pass. And then, like, let's say for cigarettes, one of the things you could do to stop smoking cigarettes is at the end of, and this won't even take long, like for like 5 to 7 days, before you go to bed, you could drink activated charcoal, boil some hot water, put like a teaspoon of activated charcoal in that water, or a tablespoon rather, in that water, right? Drink that before bed. It'll start to get those heavy metals out. Even if you're trying to stop smoking weed, because most of the time we smoking weed in blunts, which is tobacco. So the same thing, get some activated charcoal. You don't want to do the activated charcoal, you could do clove tea, right? This will reduce and take out the heavy metals in the body, right? And these are the things that matter, right? Knowing all what's in the Vatican and all that shit doesn't matter. Knowing all the conspiracies, it doesn't matter. It's not helping you become less anxious. It's not helping you become more courageous. It's not helping you tap into your psychic abilities. It's not helping you gain calm under pressure. It's not helping you be more peaceful and more joyous. It's not helping you attract the mate that is on a level of a goddess or a god, right? A lot of people have all this knowledge, but they can't attract nobody. They don't have good friends. They don't have loyal people. If you don't have somebody that you could call up and say, look, I need to borrow $1,000, then you ain't shit. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, right? But this is the level. And look, at one point I wasn't shit. So I couldn't ask somebody for $1,000 because I wasn't shit, right? You don't know I might run off on the plug, right? You don't know if you're going to get your money back, right? Especially younger me, right? Super savage, right? But the goal is to get to the point to where you are trustworthy, that you are honorable, that people could look to you and say, this is God right here. This is a God in the flesh. I don't know about them other niggas, but this nigga, I could trust him. This nigga, I could lean on him. This nigga, he's going to tell me the truth, whether I want to hear it or not, right? This nigga, if I tell him the truth, right, and it's not according to, it's not what he already has been saying or spitting, right? If the truth can get past your cognitive dissonance, because most people have cognitive dissonance, and we all have some level of it when we get new information, right? But if your truth can get past your cognitive dissonance, right, and you could change and adjust according to the truth, right? Not what you feel, the truth. Because everybody's, oh, I got my opinion and this is the way I feel about it. No, that's you being a demon. That's you being stuck in your animal body. That's you being stuck in your emotional body. That's you not having mastery of your emotions. That's you not having these wings. That's you not having your electromagnetic shield or field, right? Or a powerful, strong aura, because you want to be stuck. There's people that you could give the truth all day about COVID, right? Remember COVID's happened and people spitting the truth and giving all this information, and people still went out and took the hokey pokey, right? In their arms. You know, that's what people do, right? People, you know, I saw a post the other day and they were talking about this lady was saying, you know, she don't date people who eat McDonald's, and they were talking about how toxic McDonald's is, and there were people all in the comments defending McDonald's and defending how great it is and things like that. But there's videos, there's proof, right? Somebody did a whole thing, Super Size Me, with this guy, and he passed away recently, Super Size Me, where he went for a whole month eating McDonald's, and they showed his elevated blood levels, that he was on a path to diabetes, right? And he was getting fatter, he was getting sicker, right? Just from eating it for a whole month, right? There's videos with dogs where you throw chicken nuggets at the dogs and the dogs won't take the food. You throw a burger at the dog won't eat the food. There's people who have McDonald's for 10, 20, 30 years, cheeseburgers that they forgot in different places. And their structure of the cheeseburger is still there, just hard. But the cheese is still on there, the burger is still on there, the bun is still on there. That's when you know that you still have some spiritual work to do, because you have to elevate, right? This is you putting on the wings. And this is when you become the noble that melanated people once were. See, we like to say we civilized the planet, but at the same time, we'll accept savagery as long as it goes according to how we feel, right? We'll accept savagery from a Megan Thee Stallion or a Cardi B because we like them, right? We'll accept savagery or grooming from academics, right? Because we like the information that they give, right? We won't unfollow them, right? We won't not support them, right? We'll still indulge in them because of how we feel. And feelings aren't facts. Feelings have never been facts, right? And if you're willing to align yourself with facts, that's when you grow spiritually, right? And it's not about labeling something good or labeling something evil. Is it high vibrational, right? Is it going to help me and edify me and elevate me in character, right? In physical strength and vitality, right? In higher mentality and higher thinking, in psychic ability and magic powers. Because the truth is, right, after a certain time, right, you should be able to do magic strictly with your mind. No candles needed. No petition needed. No statue or deity needed. Those are really baby steps for you to understand these particular frequencies, the colors that's why all deities have colors, right? The colors that hold these frequencies, right? The red, white, and blue. I just broke down. I'll say it again. Osir, the white, right? Or Osiris. The red is Heru or Horus, right? And the blue is or Set or Isis, right? So that's the real original Trinity, right? Or one of the original Trinities. And that particular energy matrix is also part of Sirius A, B, and C, where the star flickers red, white, and blue. And if you don't believe it, just get a high-powered telescope, July 3rd, go outside about 3, 4 in the morning, look up, and you'll see the star Sirius flickering red, white, and blue, which is where you get the fireworks from, right? So the hero that looks like you are the Heru, you are the Heru, right? And this is the task, and this is what Kendrick Lamar was tapping into with those flag colors. Also, Kendrick Lamar and I can't play this but in this particular movie, remember this is the year of the snake, right? So one of the villains, right? And he says in the promo, he says, Captain America. Make sure y'all can see this. All right, y'all can see this one closer. So in the movie, right? And again, this is all tapped into the Super Bowl energy, right? Again, the red, white, and blue, all that. And we'll talk about Kendrick also being in this particular movie, Captain America, New World Order, right? So he says, Captain America caught without his wings, right? So you being caught without his wings, again, is you not being of higher consciousness. The goal of this whole spiritual, occult, mystical thing is to make the subconscious conscious. Once you make the subconscious conscious, right, then you are tapping into your God force. Then you are tapping into what they call in Star Wars the Force. You're able to be Luke Skywalker when you need to be Luke Skywalker, and Dark motherfucking Vader when you need to be Dark motherfucking Vader, right? There's no real spiritual truth is going to tell you just to be a goody-goody, right? No real spiritual truth is going to tell you to turn the other cheek when somebody's doing you dirty. No. Real spiritual truth, just like Captain America, is going to war, right? Is going to fight. The same way Kendrick went against Drake. I believe that Drake is a PDF file, allegedly, right? But I believe that. There's enough evidence and clues with Millie Bobby Brown, with him telling the 17-year-old girl that her breast feel good on his chest, which you can find online, that he is a PDF file. But because people like the music, and look, I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I understand. People like the music, so they're going to overlook that because of their feelings, right? But at some point, you have to say to yourself, is this person someone you want to support, right? For instance, one of my songs, right? R. Kelly, right? I Wish. I Wish is probably one of my favorite R. Kelly songs because it's dedicated, rest in peace to my man Kenyatta, dedicated to my man Kenyatta, who was one of the fallen, right? Fallen soldiers out here, fallen street soldiers, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to be playing, besides maybe that song, I'm not going to be playing his catalog, right? And I like a lot of the other music, right? But I'm not going to be playing stuff from 12 Play where he's talking about a child and shit just because of that. You know what I'm saying? You got to draw the line. Your shield is there to protect you, right? Is there to protect, right? But also bring in energy. When you're flying above, you're able to see all things and see things for what they are. And that is an expanded consciousness. That's when the subconscious becomes conscious, right? And you're able to perceive, and your conscience, right? The thing a lot of spiritual and mystical people don't talk about is your conscience actually comes online, your ka. So you're able to hear things. The voice of your conscience comes online. You're able to hear things, clear audience, right? Clairvoyance. You get protected, right? No crystals needed, all right? But crystals do enhance it. I don't want to dissuade people from getting crystals. This shit I got one on now, right? Crystals do enhance your energy. But you want to know that if you don't got shit on, you're still a god here on the planet. You don't want to depend on any external thing. So anyway, Captain America, so it's is an assassin who leads Serpent under the moniker Sidewinder. So the serpent in you on the negative, so the positive serpent, there's a positive and negative to the serpent. So the positive serpent is the Kundalini energy, Kundalini rising, right? The serpentine energy rising. The negative serpentine energy is you being ruled by your emotions, right? If you can't fast or never fasted, you're ruled by your emotions. If every time you see something sexual, you got to jerk off or you got to grab your rose, you're ruled by your emotions. Those are really the lower two chakras, right? The solar plexus, the sacral chakra and the root chakra, right? If you are nervous and have a lot of anxiety, right? Those things you could, and I've given you guys herbs like Tulsi and rhodiola and things like that you could take as teas. What else? St. John's wort and shit, and take as teas to combat these things, right? But, or you could make excuses, right? This is when you're ruled by the serpent, right? You can make excuses. Oh, I just got depression. Oh, I just got anxiety. And you could pop a couple of pills that are going to fuck your brain up as you get older, right? All these beta blockers and shit, where there's studies that they fuck your brain up over time by you taking these antidepressants, where you can just take some herbs and tap into that GNX or those genetics, right? That strong black body that we say we have, that we say we're gods, that we say we're divine beings, but don't want to use. Food for thought, right? But again, there's a reason why this character is in there. So we'll see when the movie comes out. So one of the things is, again, the shield, right? The star in Captain America's shield, which again, Kendrick was representing these colors, red, white, and blue. And look, again, I'm not worshiping Kendrick or anything. I'm talking about the energy, strictly the energy. If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, right? We fight not against flesh and bloods, but principalities in higher places, right? Which is energy, okay? Which is energy forms, which is thought forms, which are people's ideas, right? So the star in the shield, this is Orser, your true self, your true, entire, only and ultimate purpose for being on earth is the resurrection of this indwelling intelligence. Again, making the subconscious conscious, that it may guide your endeavors and life with the same omniscience that it uses to guide your physiological and subconscious mental abilities. So think about this, right? Your body knows when you're going to fall asleep, right? Your body will put you to sleep. And when you go to sleep, your body goes into repair, right? It does its own natural repairing, right? Your subconscious has the ability to deal with your respiration. While I'm talking right now, my subconscious is forming words, it's forming images, right? It's doing super calculations so I could download information to give to y'all, right? It's still your brain is receiving the information and taking in the information that I'm giving you, right? While you're breathing, while the blood is pumping in your body, while the skin is dying and repairing, right? While your respiratory system is working, while your skeletal system is working, right? All these physical systems in your body, right, are working right now, while you have also other microbes and microorganisms that are on your body that your body is fighting off, right? The red blood cells, the white blood cells, all these different things that are this beautiful vehicle that you have to keep you alive. Why not tap into that? Why not learn to meditate? Why not learn to tap into your breathing? Why not learn how to discipline yourself, right? From things that are not allowing you to get to your highest self, whether it's drugs, whether it's drinking, whether it's weed, whether it's women, whether it's men, whether it's sex, whether it's food. This is your shield. This is your spiritual protection. This spiritual protection is a higher perception. Your spiritual protection is higher perception. Everything else is just a substitute for you. All the crystals, all the Solomon seals, everything else is just, now you could hack, right, with using different, quote unquote occult tools, right, to make things work in your favor, right, make things manifest in your favor. But don't you want to be toolless? Don't you want to be walking magic, right? Don't you want to be in a source so that you have the ability to walk around and make things manifest? For instance, I'm obviously, right, don't have 1 million followers here on YouTube, 100,000, nothing like that. I'm not relying on YouTube for money, right? What's up, come to mama? I'm not relying on YouTube for financial success. But the money that I get outside of YouTube is great. I find money all the time, believe it or not. I hit scratch off shit. I just hit the lotto the other day, not for 1 million, right? I wish hundreds of thousands, but I still hit something. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming out of here with something, as Denzel said, right? So there's different, and I do sales commissions and things like that, right? In fact, this is true facts, true story, right? I changed my company's commission because I broke the bank. I broke the bank so bad that they paid me such a big commission check that they had to change the whole commission structure. Facts. And I've done this in more than one place using spirituality, right? So if you want to get opportunities, right? If you want to make money with a job, your business, right? Create your business. Tap into your spirit. Tap into your inner darkness. Go within. Stop trying to think you could buy, right? Or you can mushroom. And mushrooms are great. Don't get me. But anything that you depend on outside of self, right? To be your spirituality, and this goes for Bibles and all that. There's no way. This is why people that just strictly read the Bible, a lot of them are so wicked, because you cannot intellectualize spirituality. You cannot read spirituality. You cannot study spirituality. Knowledge is thus the foundation, but the power is in wisdom. For instance, if I give you a book on sex, right? I give you a book on doggy style, missionary position, whatever position you love, right? In sex. And I give you a book on it. It ain't the same as you actually having sex. Not even close. Not even 95%. Your imagination cannot fathom the clapping in them booty cheeks and how them booty cheeks look from the back in a book, no matter how erotic that book is. It ain't the same as you actually being in that in them cheeks. It ain't the same. You and I both know it. So you can't intellectualize spirituality. You have to tap into the spark, and you have to tap into that heart. And the only way you can tap into that heart is what all the spiritual speakers and seekers tell you, that you have to learn to control the breath. As Cash Barbie saying, you have to learn to meditate. You have to learn to go within. You have to take the time and make time for it. We're here for a limited time on earth, right? So all the things that we're doing to try to keep up with the Joneses or try to stun on other people, these people 9 times out of 10 don't give a fuck about you. In fact, and this is what I learned trying to stun on people. In fact, a lot of these people you trying to stun on that give you compliments in your face and talk about how fly you are, talk about how nice your car, this house is, hating on you in the back, talking shit about you behind your back, right? Really figuring out when you're going to fall so they could laugh at you, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having nice, beautiful things and luxurious things, but don't make that your life purpose. Your life purpose while you're here on earth is to live whatever your purpose is, discover whatever your purpose is. As Nipsey said, find your purpose or you're wasting air. And to make the subconscious conscious, right? That's it. Point blank, period. Point blank period. Everything else is vanity. So also in this movie, Captain America, right? Which Kendrick was, again, channeling the colors red, white, and blue, which is Captain America's suit, which is a black man, just like Kendrick. In the trailer, there is N95, the song N95 by Kendrick Lamar. And it says in that song, hold on, let me blow this up. It says in the song, right? Let's look at some of the lyrics. Hello, new world. All the boys and girls, I got some true stories to tell. You're back outside. And again, this is in the Captain America Brave New World trailer. I can't play it for copyright reasons, but go watch it after this or pull it up on your phone now. You'll hear N95 playing in the background. Kendrick is involved in the movie the same way he was involved in Black Panther, right? All the lights, and he did the theme song Black Panther, Kendrick, and on the Black Panther soundtrack for the first Black Panther. He's in this Captain America too, which also has ties to Wakanda. How were the Wakandas, right? The Wakandans were honorable people, all right? They had their bullshit too, with the father and everything like that. But T'Challa, right, was an honorable person, right? He was a person you could trust. He was a person you could look to for guidance, right? He also had a sense of humor, but you couldn't play with T'Challa either, right? He was also a warrior. So you don't have to be, again, to be spiritual or follow a spiritual path to be a goody-goody. That's the miseducation that they gave us with Christianity and these Abrahamic religions. No, you should also be a warrior. Even in the Bible, right, it says Christ said, I came not to bring peace, but a sword, right? But at the same time, also you should seek peace even if you're using a sword. Because the peaceful man with a sword is always going to be more strategic and powerful than the angry man with a sword. It says, hello, new world, all the boys and girls. I got some true stories to tell. You're back outside, but they still lied. And then he goes, take off the foo-foo, take off the clout chase, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the money phone, take off the car loan, take off the flex and the white lies, take off the weird-ass jewelry. I'm going to take 10 steps that I'm taking off top 5. Top 5 is one of Drake's allegiances, so to say, which recently just got put back in jail, right? Take off them fabricated streams. A lot of y'all favorite content creators are buying subs too. They're buying subs. And I'm not, whatever you got to do for your business, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to knock you. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I ain't going to fabricate my subs. Whatever comes. If it don't come, it don't come. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be real and live real than die phony. Take off the fabricated streams and the microwave memes. It's a real world outside. As I told y'all previous videos, right? Y'all going to have to get off the internet this year if you really want to tap in and form collectives and meet people. But in order to meet people and form collectives, you can't be a piece of shit, right? You can't be a scary piece of shit. You can't be a nervous piece of shit. You can't be a person, well, let me not say scary and nervous piece of shit, but you can't be scary. You can't be nervous. This is a time during this new moon, these next 3 days, you want to take a risk at something, right? You want to take a leap at something, do something different, do something that you never did before. Fast shit. Stop jerking off for 3 days, right? Put the video games down for a day. Do something disciplined where you could build up your strength. A lot of times you don't believe in yourself because you don't trust yourself because you don't keep your word to yourself. You say you're going to do this, you don't do it. You say you're going to do that, you don't do it. So eventually, over time, right, that repetition builds up. And that repetition of you not doing what you say you're going to do is you going against your own word. So, of course, if you don't trust yourself, you don't believe in yourself, you're going to look at outside things to try to edify your inner self, right? You're going to look at external things or people. Like some people be like, oh, when I get the right man, oh, it's over. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ride off into the sunset. But are you the white woman? Same thing with men, right? They feel like, oh, when I get this girl, when I get this baddie, it's over. Like I'm a stun on her. And and not even the baddie, because the baddie is like, everybody looks like a baddie now with makeup and hair, and you know what I'm saying? And everybody could look like a baddie, you know what I'm saying? No matter how big or small. It's kind of like microwave in a way, right? But and even on the internet, right? With the the different apps where you could change how you look and adjust your waist in a different way, and uh, what they call it, Photoshop and things like that, right? You can't even trust it. You know what I'm saying? You might see somebody on the internet, they look one way, and then you come off the internet, they look a whole new way, right? So go outside. Once the spring comes, summer comes, go outside, meet people, go places, right? And be the light, right? Be the lion, be the truth, and you'll attract other true people, right? And you'll be able to see the bullshit from people. And don't let nobody fucking pander to you either, right? Don't let nobody tell you, oh, you this queen or you this king and shit like that, because a lot of that gaslighting, that's how you get caught up, right? That's how you get caught up in the narcissist, because they start telling you how great you are in the beginning, which is a narcissist. How narcissists start, they tell you how great, how dope, how powerful you are, and then they start chopping you up, right? Afterwards. And it's a tactic to control you, right? They start chopping at you, and you, in a reflex, emotional reflex, are trying to meet that narcissist. You're trying to get that, what you got in the beginning, back from the narcissist, all that praise, all that high energy, right? All that good feeling. So when they start chopping you up, it's like a shock to the system. So you start doing things to try to gain that favor back from that person, right? Instead of checking them and putting them in their place, right? And being like, yo, but I just XYZ, especially when you have your own idea on what you want to do, right? And how you want to live at certain things. Don't let nobody take you off your square, right? Make sure you always, and again, if you don't trust yourself, you can't have a square. So these are things that you want to, this is Leo energy, full moon and Leo energy that you want to tap into. So it says, take off your idols, take off the runway. I take off the Cairo. I take off the San Tropez, 5-day stay, take a $250,000. Hell, I know. Take that shit off. Take off the false flag, take off perception, take off the cop with the eye patch, take off the unloyal, take off the unsure, take off decisions, take off the fake deep, take off the fake broke, woke, take off I'm broke. One of the things you never want to tell yourself is you're broke or you don't have money. Never tell yourself that you're broke. Always tell yourself, look, even if you got 0 cents, you know what I'm saying? Tell yourself, I'm abundant, you know what I'm saying? Always tell yourself, right? You're abundant. And don't tell any other people you're broke. Tell them you ain't got it, even if you got it. Tell them you ain't got it, even if you got it and you don't want to give it, right? But don't tell them you're broke. Don't ever say you're broke. Broke is broken, and nobody's broken, right? You just might be going through a tough patch, right? And people go through tough patches all the time, right? And also make sure, and this goes along with you finding your purpose. A lot of people don't have a purpose, right? So they step into, this pro thing, like pro blackness, or what's up, Kenton? They step into these things like pro blackness or, pro America or pro politics and things like that, because they don't have a purpose that they are willing to do the work for. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Cash Party. I'm in between payments. You know what I'm saying? Or like JB Fox, the funny, say something funny, like, the way my bank account's set up right now, make it light. But don't ever say you're broke. Don't ever say you're poor, right? Don't ever say you're struggling, right? Don't affirm none of that shit. Always affirm the best at you. If you're at work and you don't like your job, right, look for a new job. Don't be complaining to people, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. Oh, I hate this job. Oh, this shit is so whack. Oh, this shit. No, use that energy to get your ass on Indeed or get your ass on one of these websites and look for a new job. Or better yet, figure out why you're here and what your purpose is and figure out how to monetize that in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? I still do readings for women that are in the strip club that I've been doing for years. That supplement my income. That help me help me take care of my children outside of YouTube. Because this is a talent that I've developed over time that they can trust and they can rely on, right? So you want to have something that you love, that you are able to harness and monetize outside of your job. I said this before, I never forget. This lady told me that I was dating, she was like, you know, I respect you. And she was like, I really respect you. And I was like, well, like, okay, you didn't respect me. You didn't respect, you know, say, why are you saying this like this? You know, like she was like very passionate about it. And she was like, you know, most people, most black men in particular, so-called black men, they just go to work, right? And they come home. And that's it. They go to work and they come home, and the weekends, right? They might play some video games, you know, or play some sports or watch sports, and that's it, right? They have no other purpose outside of just going to work, right? Or just working 2 or 3 jobs. And there's nothing wrong with working 2 or 3 jobs, but damn, are you here to work for people? Are you here strictly to work for people? Are you here strictly to get money, right? Are you here strictly to be in survival mode? Or is there a higher purpose, right? But you have to put in the work. That's that Leo energy, right? You got to tame your lion. You got to tap into that Sphinx energy. So take off the gossip, take off the new logic that I'm the rich, I'm rare. Take it off. All right. A lot of people think because they get money or because they got money that they're better than you. Well, real niggas know that get money, that you could lose your money tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Money comes and goes. There's ups and downs for a real nigga, but you'll be lame all your life, hater. All right? There's ups and downs for all of us, right? Money comes and goes. You could be up one day and you could be down one day. You know, it all depends on what happens, and all depends on where you are. You know what I'm saying? But the goal is to have steady and multiple sources of income. You don't just want to rely on one income. You want to have something on the side that you're doing that you love that also generates income, that you're marketing and that you're putting out there. Take off the Chanel, take off the Dolce, take off the Birkin bag, take all that designer bullshit off, and what do you have, right? So again, this is part of the Captain America trailer and will be in the new Captain America movie, right? Again, the red, white, and blue energy. So you can listen to that for the rest. And this is where we want to get to. And this is the creative aspect. The sun is in Aquarius. So I want to share this real quick.
And connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
Imagine creating something so powerful, so groundbreaking, that people want you dead for it. That's exactly what Zimbabwean inventor Maxwell powering car, yes, a car that runs without fuel, petrol, gas, or even a charging station. That's amazing.
Now, this African created this car that runs without fuel, without power, without gas. Right now, this was set in, you know, because I know, you know, all the people that I know are not, you know, mystical or mystics or occultists or whatever, right? I know it's just some regular street niggas or just some regular cool dudes, right? Who are not even street dudes, right? Different pockets of people that I talk to and fuck with. And there was one particular group chat I was in, and you know, somebody shared this, and the first thing somebody said, "Oh, they're gonna kill, you know, Caucasians. They're gonna kill them and take the invention." Like that's the mindset that's a mindset of somebody who doesn't have wings. That's the mindset of somebody whose subconscious is not conscious, because the subconscious mind is going to tell you that one, we are all one, right? Two, that if it's meant to be, and it's meant to be, right? If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. So things are going to manifest on divine timing, not man's timing. And three, that you have the ability to manifest and create whatever you desire, no matter what somebody tries to take from you. If we all have, it's like somebody saying, it's like Harriet Tubman coming to you and saying, look, there's an underground railroad, right? And I'm gonna take you there and I'm gonna get you free. And then somebody telling Harriet, bitch, what the fuck you talking about? You ain't never gonna be free. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of mindset, right? And yes, there are histories of, our leaders being shot and things like that, but it's a new day and time, right? It's a new day and time. And we want to have the mindset to support those of us, especially those of us that look like us, right? Or not just who look like us, right? But also have the same mindset of those that are trying to, because COVID showed us that it's not about race anymore, right? It's about your mindset, right? But yet and still, being a melanated person, we still got to respect our uniqueness, right? And our unique abilities and the privilege that it is to be born melanated, all right? Again, go watch Get Out. But watch out for people with those can't do, it's never going to happen, right? Keep those people at a distance, you know what I'm saying? Or it won't happen. There's parents who will tell you that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't do this. Oh, they're stuck in their era, right? That parents, and they mean the best, right? But you're here to innovate. You're here to take it to the next level. It's like people will tell me certain things, or certain people said this, or certain spiritual teachers said that. Well, I'm here to elevate on that. You know what I'm saying? You're here to elevate on that. Because what's the sense of recycling the same old teachings over and over and over? Where you're not going to expand on it, right? So anyway, listen to this.
Igwe. This is the African Diaspora News Channel. I'm reporting from Nigeria. Now think about it again. A car that generates its own power as it moves, no gas, no diesel, no plugging it overnight, nothing like that. Just endless energy. I know that this sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's real. And it's happening in Zimbabwe. Now let's take a look at this video and we'll talk about it right after.
The vehicle, it uses what we call the microsonic energy device. The microsonic energy device, it is the device that I personally invented in 2009, which harness radio frequencies, converted it into energy. As you know, radio frequencies, they are measured in nanovolts, meaning to say they are less than a volt, they are just like nothing, but we find a way of harnessing it through the creation of the 70% of the components in the microsonic image, which I've tailor-made, which I've designed. So those are the components that enable the radio frequency to be transferred into pure, useful energy. And this is the first time in the world.
Now he's using radio frequencies, right? Radio frequencies. So basically he's using the electromagnetic spectrum, right? Or light, right? He's using radio frequencies to create energy, okay? So it says Tesla may be in big trouble as African invents self-powered cars. Now, let's see if they try to assassinate him.
This is the first and only vehicle of its kind in the world. If this technology is scalable, it will completely disrupt the automobile and energy industries as we know them. So imagine never needing a charging station again. How do you think the likes of Tesla and even other EV manufacturers will feel about this? No charging station anymore. And let's not even talk about big oil companies, because this car eliminates their relevance entirely. But here's where it gets really dark, right? A few years ago, Maxwell was poisoned, unfortunately, and he believes that it wasn't just an accident. Even his colleague who was also poisoned died from that.
So
he believes that.
So as you hear, they try to poison him. Let's continue.
This was a cartel within the oil and energy space, threatening his life. Even his mentor, Dr. Farai Katsande, said that there were multiple attempts on Maxwell's life way before that.
We were poisoned at that time. Dr. Teddy didn't make it. He died in January 2017. I survived by the grace of God.
And when we look at history, we've seen inventors. We've seen stories about inventors who unfortunately encounter mysterious events like sudden disappearances, sudden illnesses, And Maxwell himself has said that his self-powering technology threatens multi-billion-dollar industries from oil and gas to electricity providers.
So this is a revolutionary technology, right? And as Cash Barbie says, there's also, people who try to power things with hydrogen technology, right? There's definitely been melanated people that have been taken out for their inventions, even not necessarily taken out, but Lewis Latimer, right, who worked for Thomas Edison, and it's widely rumored, right, that Thomas Edison stole Lewis Latimer's invention for the light, right, for the light bulb. So, and also some of Tesla's inventions as well, right, that he bought off of him. But that's another story for another day. But he's still alive, right? Homie's still alive. He's still alive. He ain't died. So obviously his purpose, right, his electromagnetic shield, right, his captain shield, his aura, right, was strong enough, even through the poison, to keep him going. So that means his purpose is bigger than their purpose, right? His purpose is bigger than their poison. They try to take him out, but they couldn't. He's still here, right? And he's still trying to, he's still trying to push this technology out. So don't have a defeated attitude about anything. You know what I'm saying? You're here for a real reason. And whatever you're here for, your purposes, just like, some people were put here to go through the civil rights movement so we could be here today. Some people were put in certain situations to go to these corporate jobs, right, and suffer so that the next generation wouldn't have to suffer like they suffered, right? We all have a purpose while we're here. But right now, with technology and everything, right, people's purposes are other people's businesses, right? Or other people's business, right? What the celebrities doing, what the government's doing, what the conspiracy's doing, what the Vatican's doing, what the secret societies are doing. But then, I'll talk to these people, right? And, people mean well, and I was there at one point, and I'll talk to them and I'll be like, I try to, give people perspective because I was there at one point. And I'll be like, what was this doing? What is this doing for you? Like personally, what is it really doing for you? Like, what is it really doing for you? Like, there's people that I know have the best interest in just trying to share information with me, and multiple people who I know. And I've had to tell them, like, look, don't send me bad news in the morning. Like, don't send me no bad. I don't want to see I don't watch the news in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And I don't read any news until like 12 o'clock. If it's not on my Instagram or feed or whatever, I don't know about it till like afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the time when the sun is at its peak. When you're just waking up, your brain is the most receptive. Your brain is the most receptive when you first wake up. So you want to say your affirmations, right? Whatever religion you are, say your prayers, right? You want to visualize what you want the day to be, right? You want to take in positive information. You want to listen to music that's edifying. You want to listen to music that is going to help you reach heights or help put you in a good mood, right? You don't want to listen to like no Rod Wave or, you know what I'm saying? No drill music or anything like that. Things that are going to put you in a low vibration or negative energy, especially first thing in the morning. And the last thing you want to do is watch the motherfucking news. That's the greatest spell put on most people. And people really think that they're being informed, right? Because they watch the news. You're not being informed. The news is the media, right? Is a medium. Media is a medium and the goddess of illusion, right? So it is not informing you. It is informing you, meaning it is creating your reality of what you're supposed to see outside for you. Again, I highly recommend reading the news, especially in 2025, right? I recommend reading the news. If you're going to look at the weather, right? You're going to look at some local news, right? Maybe but I don't even take in local news in the morning. I don't need to know what's going on now. All I need to know is like traffic and the weather and shit like that, right? But I don't need to know who got shot down the block, right? I don't need to know who got R-worded a couple of blocks away, right? I don't need to know that shit because what is that doing for me, right? Especially first thing in the morning. And again, there's a lot of quote unquote spiritual, magical, God body, non-ether beings that don't even realize that they're programming themselves first thing in the morning with negative energy, right? And think they're doing it in the case of spreading awareness and spreading knowledge. But you can't intellectualize spirituality. It has to come from the heart. If your spirituality does not change your personal reality, it is vanity. If all you're doing is magic to get mundane shit, and yes, you could do magic to get mundane shit the same way you could work to get money, right? You could do magic to get all the mundane shit in the world and have all the beautiful house, beautiful home, beautiful cars, all that shit, right? You could use magic to do that. It's definitely out there, but you could do that and be alone, be depressed, be isolated, feel like shit, right? Have no good relationships in your life, right? Still be eating trashly, right? Have all sorts of health problems and have a Bentley and have a mansion, right? But your health is shot up. Your mental health is shot up. You know what I'm saying? Your relationships with your children and your family shot up, right? Nobody loves you and you don't love nobody, right? Everybody you look at as an opportunity and a way to scheme, and how are you going to get something out of them? You're a narcissist. You don't really know how to communicate with people, right? Without trying to get something out of them or trying to control them. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that, and I see this a lot in women, and y'all know I'm balanced with the shit, right? So don't take it personal. But I see there's a lot of women that they'll get a man, right? They'll be heavily masculine, right? And they'll get a man that they can control, that's kind of soft, or, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily going to set boundaries, or not necessarily going to tell them no, right? Just going to be kind of cream puffs or simps, for lack of a better term. And then the relationship won't work out, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no real balance, right? And it's not the right type of balance. And when the relationship doesn't work out, then they'll blame the man. But it's no, you pick this type of man to control. You pick this type of man to manipulate, right? So you got what you asked for. Get it because you asked for it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there is a Kemetic tree of life. I just want to go through this really quick. So the red, white, and blue. So as I said before, this is all set at the bottom. This would be your Yesod, for those who know the Kabbalah. This would be your Yesod. This is Heru, right? This would be your Tiferet, okay? And the color blue, red, and white would be your Sar. Or Sar holds red and white in his hand, all right? Captain America energy, all right? And again, Captain America is not about America. Captain America in Civil War went against America. He went against the Sokovia Accords. Captain America is about doing the right thing, doing the high vibrational thing, doing the thing that is going to, elevate and help the people, right? It's not going to go against man's law, going to go against the divine law, right? Which is a high moral compass, all right? Which are the people that we want around us in real life, right? We don't want our children around people that we can't trust. We don't want to be around people we can't trust, right? There's some people that are delivering the best knowledge here on YouTube, and I would not drink with them. I would not share a drink with them. I would not hang out with them. And I might take, learn from them, right? But as far as hanging out with them in real life, because I could tell how they talk about men. I could tell how they talk about women, right? I could tell the bad business practices they have by what they say and what they do, right? And the reviews that people have of them, you know what I'm saying? And I could tell by, how chaotic and just there's a lot of ways, man, you could look, and you really have to have discernment out here with the spiritual teachers that you follow. But again, one of the ways is how they always expose themselves, how they talk about the opposite sex, right? How they talk about people that are not part of their communities, their cliques, or their organizations, right? Even this whole chosen one thing, that's a trend right now. That's straight out of Christianity, right? That's straight out of Christianity. How are you a chosen one? How you know you're a chosen one and you ain't dead yet? You haven't gone through the whole life. You don't know if you're going to turn into the wickedest motherfucker when you turn 30, 40 because something happened in your life that totally flipped the switch in you and you don't want to follow the righteous path anymore, or you don't want to follow the spiritual path anymore. You don't know if you're going to go back to church when you're 70 and 80 and said, look, I'm tired of reading all these books. I'm just going to go to church, man, because it's safe there. And I want to make sure that just in case, because a lot of people won't be following this path, but they got it just in case, right? I want to get right with Jesus, just in case I'm wrong, right? So you don't know. right? So you can't call yourself chosen. People be 20, 22, 23, 25 talking about they're chosen ones. No, just because you're attracted to spiritual truth does not mean you're chosen. There's a lot of people attracted to spiritual truth that ain't chosen at all, right? There's a lot of people, Donald Trump, right? He believes in the power of positive thinking. He went to church with somebody who taught positive thinking. That's why whenever you hear Trump talk, we're going to do it now, we're going to do it fast, we're going to do it quick. He always says that. We're going to do it now, we're going to do it fast, we're going to do it quick. It's going to be a good thing, right? This whole thing about Gaza, right? Even though he got a whole bunch of pushback, right? What did he say? Oh, many people, people love it. People think this is a great idea. I'm getting a lot of support, right? He knows that's not the quote unquote truth, but he's creating his own mythology, right? And we can learn from that, right? Be creating our own mythology by being positive, right? You can learn from your enemies, quote unquote, too, right? And nobody's really an enemy except you, because if you don't figure out how to tap into these energetic frequencies, right, which are part of the Kabbalah and the Kemetic Tree of Life. I did a video on this. I'm going to do another video on this, but it's not going to be free, right, because I got a lot more understanding of it. But I just want to show you the red, white, and blue that is even on the Tree of Life itself. So, which was part of Kendrick's video. So Gloria, right? Kendrick wore this jacket that said Gloria. And in esoteric context, Gloria, Latin for glory, signifies a state of radiant divine consciousness representing the highest potential of the self, often associated with the idea of merging with the divine, experiencing enlightenment, or achieving a state of pure, unblemished awareness, essentially becoming one with the source of all creation. It could also symbolize the inner light or spiritual radiance within the individual. If you think a person of another race or culture, or because they come from another landmass than you, even though they look like you, or even though they don't look like you, you believe that these people are less than or not as good, then you are still stuck on the physical plane, right? You're still tethered in 3D reality. You're still tethered in polarity between good and bad, not realizing that we all are one, but different expressions of the one. Everyone is not going to follow spiritual, mystical path, no matter how much you tell them, no matter how much information you spread, no matter how much light you spread, no matter how kind you are. Not nice. Don't be nice. Nice is weakness, right? Nice, the etymology of nice is ignorance, right? So take that out of your vocabulary. Don't be nice anymore. You want to be kind. Kind is different than nice. Kind, again, is you telling the motherfucker, get the fuck back before I slap the shit out you. You know, that's being kind, because you ain't slack them yet. So you're being kind to them, right? Because they're in your face. Back the fuck back so before I smack fire out your ass. And you can say it with peace, right? But know that if they come up, you're going to smack the shit out of them, right? And you can do it in a state of peace. Bruce Lee was fucking motherfuckers up, right? But Bruce Lee was also a person who meditated all the time. You know what I'm saying? The thing is this. When you are in a state of anger, right, you're not in your glory. You're not in your gloria, right? What happens is the blood rushes from your brain to your body, right? It activates your hind parts. So you start thinking from the neck down. You become an animal. Therefore, your IQ could drop up to 60 to 70 points. So you're no longer intelligent. You're literally an animal. You're like a dog. You're like a chicken, right? With those little tiny brains, right? So you want to learn to be at peace. You want to learn to go to war. If you got to go to war, if you got to battle with somebody, if you got problems at home, problems with somebody at work, problems with a neighbor, right? You want to go to the battle in the mind. You want to take it into meditation. And guess what? Through meditation, through going into your inner darkness, through going into the dark matter, through going into the dark source energy, you're able to tap into that Gloria. When Kendrick is working with that pen, right, which the song Gloria on GNX was him talking about writing, right, his pen. Gloria was his pen. So you being able to write a new script mentally or write it down on paper, right? That you being able to write this new script for that neighbor, for that circumstance, right? You could change their energy. You could change their energy strictly with you visualizing them changing their energy. And I've done it dozens of times. Dozens of times. I've got positions at jobs where people are like, how the fuck did you get this position? How did you get this manager position and you don't do shit? Because in my mind, I've taken myself into these positions. I've seen myself sitting in a chair. I've seen myself managing these people before it happened. Right? And also, I've also empowered those visions within myself with candle magic, with using sacred geometry, right? Veves, things like that, right? But using the whole, so using the inner world and the outer world, as above, because you are the highest, you are the most high, right? God here on earth, right? Jesus will tell you that. You'll do things greater than he. Jesus said that. And using the terrestrial world, right? The candles, the crystals, the, you know what I'm saying? The sacred geometry, the herbs, right? The incense, the sound, all those things, right? And creating now a spark, masculine and feminine, masculine being the external, feminine being the internal, creating the sperm meeting the egg, so to speak, to bring life. That's magic, right? Thoughts, emotions, actions, right? Boom, T. That's the real T, right? Thoughts, emotions, actions bring things into reality. And then you start to see your Gloria, right? The glory comes from things when you are essentially becoming one with the source of all creation. When you're creating, writing, right? And anybody who's ever written raps, written poetry, written books, there comes a point where you'll actually be channeling energy and you don't even know. Sometimes the spirit will write for you. The spirit will tell you what to say. The spirit will tell you what to type. And you'll be like, damn, where's this shit coming from? You're just typing or you're just writing, right? And spirit is guiding your hand. So this is what he's talking about when he's talking about glory or Gloria, right? So let's get into another breakdown real quick. And actually, are we gonna do this? Nah, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. Because that first breakdown was pretty long. So again, you can see the Gloria jacket, right? Right here. And it's red, white, and blue, which we've just been covering, right? This whole video, right? That Captain America, Moral Compass, Osorian, Heru, Maya type energy, right? That he was channeling through the Super Bowl. And also, you know, the bell bottoms. I saw something that said the bell bottoms that he was wearing. This was actually, no, I didn't consult with my OG about this, so I could be wrong, right? But he was saying that, you know, they were saying that the bell bottoms were an act of rebellion, you know, back in the 50s and the 60s, you know, to show that they were going against the system, so to speak. So that's why he wore the bell bottoms, you know what I'm saying? And sisters, right? See them here, they're all wearing red and black, right? So red and black is a sign of a legba. A legba is the road opener. A legba opens the road. So as soon as I saw the red and black, I was like, oh yeah, he's tapped in. Right? He's tapped into a different frequency, and he's opening the road. So opening the road is, or opening the crossroads is actually giving you opportunity, right? Breaking free of whatever you are, whatever has, you know, sometimes like you might need a new job, you might need a new car, right? You might need a new place to live, you might need a change of scenery, right? Tapping into this particular frequency, right? And just like the sisters are doing, right? You could wear red and black, you could light red and black candles, you could do this on Monday, right? Monday nights, or you could do this Wednesday night because Malegba is ruled by the planet Mercury, which governs the day of Wednesday, right? Now, most people are going to tell you can only do it Monday. But again, you got to expand on what most people told you, including if they're got 1 million followers and they're quote unquote master teachers, right? You're the master teacher and you should be teaching yourself, right? And expounding on whatever Bobby, Panic, whoever is out there is telling you, right? But once I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, this is the Legba energy, but it's also Sekhmet energy, right? Sekhmet was a healer, and Sekhmet would put fire to your ass. Okay. So Sekhmet was a healer, but Sekhmet is also that Leo lioness energy. Okay. So also that that's the feminine aspect, or I would say the Kemetic or Egyptian feminine aspect of Legba. But opening the road is again something new, and he's bringing again that Captain America, that divine morality, right? That noble energy, that the noble Moor, the noble Pharaoh, right? And let me say this. Let me say this. I saw this popular conscious nigga. I saw this popular conscious nigga, right? He was like, yo, men aren't supposed to be in sports. They're, he's pandering, right? He's like, men aren't supposed to be in sports. They're supposed to protect women, right? And so the big, tall men, they're not supposed to be playing basketball. The big, strong men, they're not supposed to be playing football, right? They're only supposed to be protecting women, right? Pandering, right? Derek Jackson of the conscious communities, right? And they're out there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to pander to you. I don't care if you like me or don't like me. I love women. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to pander to you. I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like me or not. But he's saying that, and that's not true. Because if you go back and study history, which most people don't do, they're just going to have an emotional reaction without doing the research, right? Without really looking at it. They're going to say, yeah, that's right, boy. You're right. Right? They're going to have an emotional reaction just like they do to Derek Jackson, just like they do to this guy, Ace Metaphor, from tonight's conversation, right? And just respond to it. But the facts are that Cometians were playing this game called Seker Manat, which is similar to baseball, right? In fact, the Cometians, the Egyptians, played several games with balls, right? Which they made from papyrus and from different sorts of things, which you could research and look up, right? So games are things that we created. Chess is a game that was created by the Cometians, the Egyptians, the Kamau, right? These are facts. These are things you could look up, right? But people are not going to look those things up. People are just going to believe that men are strictly just here to protect women. No, that's not the case. Yes, we are protectors and providers, but a lot of what people don't talk about is that we're also problem solvers, right? But we also like sport, right? It's a part of competition, and that's part of that masculine Mars energy. Women are Venus, right? They're more earthly, right? More nurturing, more growing, more subconscious, right? More collective. A group of women will nest, right? Group of women will all be 5, 6, or 7 of them naked, doing each other's hair and doing each other's makeup and laughing and giggling. You're not going to see a group of men doing that. Does that make men bad or less than? No, we're different. We have different forms of energetic expression, right? The same way women have different forms of energetic expression. If you're a man and you're not tapped into that nurturing energy, which is different than those, right? Then you won't understand a woman that's into spirituality, that's into tapping into the subconscious, that's into learning about the inner self, right? If you're a woman, right, and you understand men, you're not going to understand men that are logical, that are reasoning, that are not so much into their emotions, right? And not so much into feelings and things like that, but more willing to go out and get it, more external, more money getting, more trying to build for the family, right? Things like that. So you won't understand the balance of, and the goal is to become balanced for all genders, right? Is to understand the expressions of each one so you could become an Asir. You could become blue and red being masculine, blue being feminine. You can understand both frequencies and turn that red and blue into a purple, into a crown, right? So you could be radiating true divine light. So I just want to step back because I thought that shit was hilarious when I heard him say, and there was 2 men too that was like, yo, men are just supposed to be out, big, strong men are supposed to be out, not supposed to be playing sports, but but just protect women. I'm like, what? That's ridiculous. Like, but these are people who have not studied their history, so they don't know better. They're just going off emotion, right? So I thought this was very, very dope by Kendrick. And this is the number 3 is the number of Alegba. And as soon as I saw it, I tapped into that particular frequency. I was like, oh, okay, that's Alegba. Like, I can see this shit plain as day. You know what I'm saying? That's Papa Alegba. That's Eshu. And shout out to my God, my bro God, Adika Butler. You know what I'm saying? He said this is in Louisiana, which it was, New Orleans, the Super Bowl, the third center of voodoo culture, which incorporated some Orisha deities. It's also the home of, again, Marie Laveau, right? Popular magician, right? Very popular magician, very popular occultist, right? Who established the spiritual center of, if you let the legend tell it, establishing the spiritual center of New Orleans as one of voodoo. And Divine Jam, shout out to her, the Heart One, Fly Like the Eagle, you know what I'm saying? Eshu on the head of 4 primordial archetypes of the feminine, the way it's open. And it says yes, and he's wearing 3 chains, which he is, right? So all these signs and symbols, again, he's tapped in, right? Again, I'm not saying in fact, Kendrick has a song that says he's not your savior. The song is called Savior. Go listen to it. Right? He says that he's not your savior. So don't look to him as a savior, but he is becoming or using symbolism, and he is helping people become more symbol literate, whether they know it or not. Even though they're being entertained, they're still learning. They're still wanting to learn about what he's trying to convey, which is good because more people will naturally over time, and not just the older people, but especially the youth, over time will want to become more symbol literate, which is good because all the secrets are hidden behind signs and symbols. All the secrets are hidden behind signs and symbols. So let's get into this Leo energy, right? So all this feminine energy, right? This is the strength card, okay? The strength card, as you see, this is red and white as well, right? I'm not making this up, right? You can see the color scheme for yourself. The line is red, and the woman is wearing white. Okay, white not representing white people, or white representing purity, representing innocence, things like that. All right, so this was the theme of last year. Key is 8, color yellow, right? Hebrew letter is 10th, meaning serpent. All right, so we are in the year of the wood snake, right? And the real new year is in spring. So spring, right, we'll see a lot of this energy come to a head after March 21st. But we're in the year of the wood snake, right? So the wood is, as I said before, the central nervous system, right? And you tapping into that serpentine energy is you raising that kundalini fire through breath work, through diet, through thoughts, and through your emotional resonance. You choose what emotions you want to resonate with, right? And you could choose what emotions to not resonate with. That is Leo. Leo is inner strength. Whenever you see a woman in mysticism or in tarot, it always represents the inside. It always represents the subconscious. It always represents the subconscious. All right. So whenever you see a woman in magic, mysticism, or any type of symbolic motif, the archetype is always the subconscious, right? Always the soul, in fact, not even the spirit. The lion is a representation of the masculine energy, the external energy, right? And the spirit. So it's the soul taming the emotion. Spirits are emotions, right? Spirit is air. Air moves in the wind, right? You could feel spirit. You could feel somebody's spirit. You could feel when somebody has a nasty spirit. You could feel someone when somebody has a loving spirit, right? You can physically feel it, all right? The same way you could physically feel a lion and their strength when they're around, right? If you've ever been, close to a lion, you could feel a lion's strength, right? But there's people that tame lions. There's people who in Africa, there's people who put lions on leashes and walk with them, right? Mike Tyson had lions, right? Back in his heyday. So the Leo energy, which again, and you can see the red, white, and blue, even in this, right? Alchemical energy, fiery, all right? So again, this has to do with you tapping into taking some sort of risk, right? Creating something, building something. On the top of her head is the infinity symbol, which are 2 sine waves, but also what it is cycles. All right. You got to know when to plant seeds. New moons is when you plant seeds of attention. Full moons is when you strengthen those seeds and also see if the seeds that you plant on a new moon really matter and see what sort of progress you've had while the moon was waxing from the new moon to the full moon, right? So there's different cycles to do things. Now, January, February, March is the best time to do inner work. It's the best time to do meditation work. Summer, right, and fall, that's when you're supposed to go out and get it. That's when you're supposed to be living the truth that you've put into your soul during this time, that you've cultivated in your soul. So take advantage of these months, right? Take advantage of these cold months. Take advantage of being indoors. Take advantage of this time, not to watch a whole bunch of Netflix and decode it, right? Although there's nothing wrong with that, right? But a lot of people, like, they're so invested in watching these things and decoding them and getting something out of them. But what are you creating, right? Are you creating something yourself? Are you building something yourself? Are you developing something yourself? Or you're just watching other people's creations and try to figure out what it is, right? And again, how does that really edify you? But you just having intellectual knowledge, right? But not soul knowledge from the heart, right? So you gotta align the heart with the mind, right? You can't, the universe is, to me, right? Even though we're taught the universe is mental, right? The universe to me is more heart. As I study this thing more and more, right, the universe is more heart-based, right? It's really the emotions that you choose to channel that allows you to magnetize or repel things, right? Your electromagnetic energy. The electricity is generated from your brain, from your mind, and the magnetism is generated from the heart. But the heart is the strongest field. So it starts with a thought, right? But the spirit is the emotion. So if you're thinking negative things, if you're thinking the worst is going to happen, if you're thinking how bad these things are, if you're thinking I don't like my job, if you're thinking I don't like this relationship, if you're thinking I don't like being around here, then you have to start thinking new thoughts. You have to start creating a new reality mentally first. Then you start creating a new reality mentally. Those thoughts produce emotions, right? Those emotions resonate and radiate, which will repel things from you and bring things to you, right? And then you'll start to see little breadcrumbs on the road in your life, right? Which you have to start taking action, right? You have to start making some moves towards these things that you say you want. You can't just sit on your ass and wait for it to happen. Oh, law of attraction, I'm sitting on my ass and do nothing but create a vision board, right? Of somebody else's pictures, and nothing wrong with a vision board, right? But you want to create also physically, take physical action, right? That's what Leo energy is about. The fire in you, the kundalini in you, the act in you, and you'll start to magnetize more and more of those things to you. So other attributes: taste, suggestion, digestion, subtlety, secrecy, regeneration, refinement, patience, fortitude. Let's talk a little bit about secrecy, right? Especially for men, all right? And, I'm a dude. A lot of people don't come, there's a lot of spiritual stuff for women, but a lot of spiritual stuff is not centered for guys. So I want to do that as well, especially on the occult level, right? So men, when you go out with a woman, right, first and foremost, make sure you have at least $200 that you're willing to let go of, that you're willing to never see again. If not, stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to, with the $10, whatever, $40, a blunt and some liquor. Now they're low vibration. They're going to keep you on a lower level because you're plugged into a weak outlet, which is a hood rat, which is a thought, right? Which is a woman that's selling the booty, right? You're going to be plugged into low vibrations. That's just what it is. And you're going to get that low vibration energy. There's no way around it, right? But you'll get your nut off, right, on the base level. But if you really want to date a woman, right, at least have $200 that you're willing to see go if it doesn't work out, right? If you're going to go out with her and stuff like that, right? Second of all, when you date a woman, don't tell her everything. Don't tell her don't, women are naturally nosy. Don't answer every fucking question. Have some strength in you. Have some mystery. Have some secrecy. Some questions they ask you, you know what I'm saying? Say, you got to unlock that. You know what I'm saying? Over time, you got to unlock that answer. Have some mystery. Have something about you that they just don't know, that they just won't be able to get just off. You don't answer every single question. Like, have some mystery about you. And two, and third, and lastly, a little bit of game I'm giving you. When you go out with a woman, let her know that you're there to be with her, right? You're there not just to be her friend. Strictly, the first time you are in a space with her, I'm not here just to be your friend, right? I'm here to be your man and eventually your lover. Say it just like that. I'm here to be your man and eventually your lover. And if she responds, and I'm just giving you some OG wisdom, if you look and then you look at her body language, don't just listen to what she says. You look at her body language. If she don't smile, if she don't look happy, if she don't look like, you know what I'm saying, it tickled her fancy in a way, then she came there to use you for a meal, my nigga. It's all right. Chalk to the game, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? She came there just to waste some time, right? She ain't had nothing else better to do, right? She wants to put on a new outfit that she's been having in the closet forever. Happens to the best of us, player. You know what I'm saying? But let her know what your intentions are the first time, right? Don't wait. Don't put yourself in a friend zone when you don't have to. A lot of the fact you're in a friend zone because you don't have the strength to speak up and state your intention. And women too, state your intention. Like, don't be trying to have a man read your mind. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was dating a woman and we were in a situation, right? I went to visit her and, she was tired or whatever one day and, she didn't really want to cook, but she still cooked, right? And which we had discussed previously. She still cooked and all that. And then like a couple of days, and then she like ghosted me for like a couple of days. And I was like, what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? Then like I pressed her, like, what's going on? And she was like, oh, I was tired and I didn't want to cook and you should have taken me out. And I was like, hey, you could have just said that. I would have took you out. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it wouldn't have been a big deal. You could have just said I didn't want to cook. You know what I'm saying? But you wanted me to read your mind. Like, be direct. This is strength too. Like, if you're a woman, there's nothing wrong with telling a man exactly what you want. In fact, men respect that more than you trying to make them read your mind. We're not as emotional creatures like y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're not able to feel things out like y'all. We're logical, reasoning beings, most of us, right? So we're going to look at the best option for us at the time. But if you feel a certain way, you got to say, look, and there would have been nothing wrong with her being like, yo, I'm tired today. Can we go out to eat? Or make it even funny or make it even silly, right? But she was actually mad, like, and then compared me to her ex, and all. She went down a whole rabbit hole. And I was like, you know what? I just stopped talking to her after that. I ain't even beef with her because that shit was ridiculous. But I say that to say, again, and I'm talking about men and women, right? Be straight up, like, take a risk, right? And if you're not comfortable enough with the person to say what you really want to feel, so you really want to stay, then stay away from them, right? If they don't respect you saying what's on your mind and your truth, not shit to beat somebody down or get back at somebody, but your truth, your boundary, leave them alone. Leave them the fuck alone, right? Respect your shield. So the energy, of this particular card, the Leo energy, full moon and Leo, it symbolizes courage, confidence, determination, and inner power. True strength comes from within. All right. True strength is not loud. It's not you being an alpha male. In fact, the alpha, right, is usually of the wolf pack, is usually the wolf that is with the woman. It's usually the wolf that has a family that actually leads the wolf pack. So that is the alpha. So being tough and being gangster and all that shit, that's an old model. You know what I'm saying? All them 50 Cent shows that people are trying to live the 90s and 2025, it's just going to get you locked up quick, fast, and in a hurry, which Kendrick touched on in the Super Bowl, right? where we have to make and create a new reality, right? A new America, if you will, right? And it's only going to come from us being at the highest version of ourselves and taking the strength and the discipline to do it and to be bold with it, right? So also SZA, right, was on the ground, right, while it was spinning. This is representing the Kundalini energy, right? The energy of Ra or Chi Kundalini rising up from the root chakra up. So she's wearing red. Also, again, tapping into that opening the crossbones, Legba, Eshu energy. All right. That number 3 energy, which the sisters were also wearing. And the Kundalini energy, as I said, coming from root, right, where she was wearing red all the way up to the crown. All right. And the serpentine energy, what the Hindus call the Ida and the Pingala, right? And the middle being the Sushuma, right? All the way rising to the crown. Again, Captain America, themes. The cat, this is also called the Caducees, right? But Captain America themes all around, the Falcon. So I really can't wait to watch this movie to see the signs and symbols and what they do with the movie, right? Especially with it being a brother, him having that Wakanda tech, the whole Kendrick Lamar being part of it. I wonder if the first song that he did was the song that we did that nobody heard before is going to be part of the movie. It'll be interesting to see. But these colors, right, are colors. If you want to tap into a certain frequency of vibration, wearing certain colors will help you. I don't want to do a whole chakra class this particular video, but study, learn these, right? This is what you want to commit to memory, because this is what's really going to help you. Learn what each chakra does, right? The energy behind each chakra, and wear these colors, right, in your day-to-day life to channel this particular frequency to you, right? Because a lot of people just get dressed and they don't know why they're getting dressed. They're just wearing shit to look good. But now, if you have an awareness of why you're wearing certain things on certain days to tap into certain frequencies, right? For instance, why do you think I'm wearing this hat that got red, white, and blue and fire for the full moon in Leo? Do you think it's just coincidental? No. Why do you think I'm wearing a crimson shirt, right, on a Wednesday, right, which has to do with the planet Mercury, communication? Is it coincidental? No, there's nothing I do that's coincidental, right? At all. And you shouldn't either. Also, Aquarius, the sun is in Aquarius, right? So you becoming those wings, right, are going to bring you higher level, higher thoughts, high frequency. So in tarot, the star card is most commonly associated with the zodiac sign of Aquarius, which is what the sun is in, signifying hope, renewal, and a positive outlook, which aligns with the Aquarian traits of visionary thinking and humanitarianism. Remember, everyone is in here in America. All cultures and colors are under the flag, right? All colors and cultures are under the flag. But as I always say, the melanated man and woman are the spiritual vanguard of the planet Earth, right? We are the ones who are supposed to lead spiritually, all right? We are the ones that are supposed to be examples of divinity, right? And it shows with all the creations, all the inventions. I just showed you the brother that's creating energy to power a car off radio frequencies. All right. The imagery often depicts a water bearer reflecting Aquarius symbols of pouring out knowledge and enlightenment to others, right? But you can't just having knowledge is not enough. And I know a lot of us have been taught that we're stupid, taught that we're dumb, taught that we don't know it all. So we like having this knowledge. We like being able to regurgitate the knowledge. But if it's not helping your life, if it's not helping your anxiety, if it's not helping your stress, if it's not helping your health, if it's not helping you tap into psychic abilities, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, right? If it's not helping you become a better person, if it's not helping you draw closer to your children, help your current children understand you, if it's not helping you. And you know, let me say this, I was going through something, right? Which I had a total blind spot with my children. And I had posted a picture, and you know, one of my uncles, right? I ain't gonna say his name, he knows who he is if he's watching. But he's not my blood uncle, right? But I call him my uncle in my head because he told me some things that have got me off certain paths. And he did this again. And he was like, yo, you know, you got to do this with your daughter. And I had a total blind spot. I'm like, yo, I do this, but I get this reaction. And he was like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? And he gave me an example, right? And when he gave me the example, it was the example I needed to hear. Therefore, it allowed me to create now that I have a stronger bond with my daughters. And, you know, you still fuck up every now and then, right? But I have a much stronger bond than I did previously because Spirit brought me that message from somebody else. And that's how this works. That's how you gaining your wings really works, right? This is how you are able to fly high like the falcon, like a Heru, and being able to see things on a much higher level than the average person that is weighed down by what celebrities doing, weighed down by what the news is telling them, weighed down by the problems in Ghana and South Africa and North Africa and Ukraine and, you know, wherever, every place around the world where people are just worried about other people's business, right? But are you drinking water? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're worried about everybody's business and you got all the knowledge of the world, right? But how much soda are you drinking, my nigga? Real talk, right? And also, there's melanated beings who are part of this whole Star Spangled Banner, right? Grace Wisher, all right? Speaking of Star, all right? Grace Wisher, the black girl who helped stitch the Star Spangled Banner. Grace Wisher, a freeborn black girl from Baltimore, Maryland, helped stitch the Star Spangled Banner during the 6-year apprenticeship she began with white filmmaker Mary Pickersgill around 1810. All right. So again, this flag is not just a flag for Caucasian people, no matter what they told you, right? There's a lot of melanated people that bled for this, all right? And you can read this whole thing yourself. It's already a long video, so I ain't going to go into the details, but that's really all you need to know, all right? That a melanated woman helped create this flag, right? Although they attribute it to, you know, Betsy Ross or whatever, you have to remember each state, like this is a Baltimore flag, and each one of the colonies, once they got flags, once they created a colony, they created their own flag. So that's why this doesn't have 50 stars, this particular flag. It has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's mean this was the 14th state in the Union of America at the time, right? So they created, each state had its own flag, all right? So never forget your contribution. But they got something for you, right? They got something for you. They got something for you if you don't want to, you know, tap in. They got, you know, not so divine feminine energy, right? Angel Reese drops Angel Reese drops a theme meme. Fans go wild. Like, this is marketing, right? Fans go wild for bowl barbecue and basketball about the colors, how it relates to not only Freemasonry, but how it relates to the powers that were controlling your perception of what's good and bad. And as you see, she's wearing black and white. Do I think Angel Reese studies esoteric science and knowledge? Hell no, right? She's just doing what she was told and by what somebody who does know is telling her to do, right? And let's see what this particular sandwich has, right? Here's her again, right? With the barbecue sandwich right during Black History Month, right? And let's see, Angel Reese special. It's a 1/4 pounder with cheese, bacon, onions, and pickles. Cheese from a cow. Most Black people are lactose intolerant, right? Bacon, pig, right? Pigs eat anything. Pigs are probably the worst thing to eat. Onions, which make you more angry. More onions you eat, the more angry you will be. And pickles. Pickles are probably the healthiest thing on there, right? and a new bold, smoky barbecue sauce, right? New bold smoky barbecue sauce, all right, that McDonald's, the killer, calls a game changer, right? But they'll have these people promote this shit, right, to kill you. And they look just like you, all right? And they got the color blue, right, to have your subconscious comfortable, because that's what the color blue represents, the subconscious, right? And also, you know, they'll have also representing that Orsetian energy, right? You see it. She's in the sky, all right? Aquarius is an air sign. We're in the time where the sun is in Aquarius. Red and yellow, root chakra, right? Solar plexus. Red and yellow naturally stir your appetite just by looking at the color. It makes you hungry. That's why McDonald's, Burger King, Popeyes, right? All the big chains have red and yellow, right? Because it bypasses your critical thinking and taps into your subconscious mind. This is the importance of symbolism. Like people were talking about this Kendrick thing, and I don't want to think, I just want to dance. Well, he already told y'all to turn the party off, right? He already told y'all to let the party die, I should say, right? He already told y'all during the Super Bowl performance that it's not about the music, right? But this is what they will sell you to kill you, right? This is what they will sell you to kill you over time. They got the Don Julio, right, with the Popeyes. Again, during Black History Month. Got the Don Julio.
Look, when I was in the trap house, there was some white powder right there. I thought it was cocaine. I took some of it. It wasn't cocaine. I started laughing. You break some, I shoot it. And now we here. We eat this chicken. We all have it. It's fucking chicken.
So, yeah, you eating the chicken and you think, oh, I'm just eating the chicken, right? But you laughing, you just want to dance, right? You just want to have escapism from your responsibilities of being a divine being. And that's really just the truth about it, right? Because it does take work. Popeyes and Don Julio ad, like, that's what it is. I forgot the name of this movie. They call Tyrone, that's the name of it. So people watch this shit, but I'm sure people still bought the Don Julio chicken. I'm sure people are still going to run out and get the H of Reach meal, right? With a side of orange, high C, sacral chakra, right? Activities and sensuality with a side of high C orange, right? But this is what being in the world, being weighed down by the world, and wanting to satisfy your taste buds, your emotional body, instead of disciplining yourself and saying, nah, let me get something else. Let me get some fish. Let me get a salad. Let me, cook my food at home. Let me get some halal meat if I'm going to get chicken or meat, right? Let me get something that's at least a little bit better. I think it's a little bit better, or at least my intention is getting halal meat. It's better than me getting regular meat from the store, or definitely meat from some corporation like McDonald's or Popeyes or Burger King or motherfucking whatever, right? But these are the conversations people don't want to have. But yet, when something like this happens, right? Irv Gotti, all right, music producer and record executive Irv Gotti had been battling diabetes for years before he died at the age of 54. He suffered multiple strokes related to his diabetes, right? Now, Irv was on drinks camps last year. Rest in peace, first and foremost, to Irv, and condolences to his family. But he was on drink champs last year talking about how he wasn't really managing his diabetes, like how he was taking the insulin off and on, right? How he wasn't really, taking this as serious as he should. This is out of his own mouth, right? This is when you're tethered to your taste buds more than you're tethered to your own health. This is when you don't have inner strength. This is when your emotions run you and you don't run your emotions. This is when you have no control over yourself. I don't care how many books you read. If you can't control your own mouth, if you can't control your own taste buds, then you are not really at the spiritual level that you think you are from all the books you read. You are not at the super magical level that you think you are based on your reading, right? A lot of these people that you think are mystical beings are shooting this on every day. And there's, I'm not saying, people have health struggles and health crises. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that you could heal anything. You could heal anything if you are going to take it serious and tackle it, right? And look for solutions instead of just saying like, oh, well, I got diabetes. Let me just listen to what the doctor says. Let me not do my own independent research. Let me not look into any herbs. Let me not start working out. Let me not start being more fit. Let me not start losing weight, et cetera, and just being in the comfort zone. So, and he died at the age of 54. 5 and 4 is 9. So there's a lesson in this, right? There's a lesson in not eating the Don Julio chicken. There's a lesson in not eating the Angel Reese meal, right? There's a lesson in not indulging in these things, right? Because they're trying to kill you. They're trying to kill you. Food is war. Don't ever think that they're not trying to kill you with food that is marketing directly to your black ass and your children. Okay? Food is war. Food is war. The medical industry is an industry. They have the cure for cancer. They have the cure for diabetes. They have the cure for a lot of these diseases, right? But they're not going to give you the cure because there's more money in the sickness. There's more money in having you in the hospital. There's more money in prescribing you prescriptions. So there's a lesson in this. Please take heed, all right? We want to live as long as we can for our children and grandchildren, right? We don't want to just leave the planet, right? Talking about this as a prison planet. No, you like being on this planet. If not, you would have just succumbed to COVID and killed yourself or jumped off a bridge, right? They like this planet, right? And I'm not saying anybody should jump off a bridge or anything like that. But what I am saying is, you know what I'm saying? This planet has a lot of great things in it, right? There's a lot of reasons why you want to be alive. There's a lot of reasons why you lock your door at night, right? If you don't give a fuck, you just leave your door open and let whatever happen, leave your windows open and whatever happen, unlock your car at night and whatever happens, happens, right? But you care about being here, right? So value it, be grateful for it. There's some spirits that you may think are on a higher level than you, but you are here. The spirits work for you. All spirits work for you. And some of them wish they could possess a body just to feel what you felt. And they never will. And they never will, because you, with your thought forms and your ideas, actually create their reality. And if you don't give energy to them, they do not exist. Some science for you, some spirit science. So what the things you want to get is, you want to get a red, white, blue candle, right? Or just a red and white candle, either or all three. Put those down. Write you out a petition, which is whatever you're trying to overcome, right? Write it out that you have. Write it in the presence, in the now, as you have overcome it. You have overcome this habit. You have manifested this thing. And what are you going to sacrifice to get this? Because there's always a sacrifice before you become. They even do that in the quote unquote dark magic, right? They tell you got to sacrifice somebody. So what habit, what behavior, what thoughts, what ideas, what weaknesses are you going to sacrifice? What comforts are you going to sacrifice in order to hit the next level of your spiritual growth and your magical development, right? So what are you going to sacrifice first and foremost? What are you going to work on? And then what do you hope to gain, right, from that sacrifice? All right. So a lot of times, there's nothing wrong with putting offerings and things like that on your altar. But the real offering is you sacrificing the animal in you, sacrificing an animal spirit within you, which is a demon, right? Or a daemon. Sacrificing an animal spirit within you and putting that on the altar for you to now gain spiritual power, protection, wisdom, and guidance. So again, I recommend you getting these candles. If you're in a space where you can't light candles or you can't create an altar, right? Just create a picture, right? With some candles that are lit, right? With your phone and things like that, and make that your screensaver. And you could do both. You could have the candles lit on your physical altar and also have them on your screensaver, right? And just put in the, get crafty with your arts and crafts on the phone. And you could create a petition the same way, have some words on it, right? Even if it's just one line mantra, right? And just have that and work on that during this full moon period. All those things will help you. And last but not least, we got Nipsey Hussle, all right? Also representing the full moon energy, all right? Yeah, divinely crafted. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's real spiritual power, right? That's real spiritual power. Like fasting. You know what I'm saying? Take a day or two, take a risk, try it. You know what I'm saying? See if you could do it. See if you have the inner strength to do it. You know? You could drink water, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even if you just did day fast. You know what I'm saying? After a while, naturally, your body's going to intermittent fast some days. It's just going to happen naturally, especially during new and full moons, the more you do this work. But anyway, tapping into Nipsey's energy, right? You could also listen to his music because he's a Leo. Well, this is a full moon in Leo. So you can listen to his music, right? Take some themes for his music, have a vision and a mantra or thought while you're listening to his music, right? And carry these things throughout your day or throughout, going to and fro, right? Tapping into that energy because he is a Leo. And as you see, he's wearing the red, white, and blue here in this picture. So you could even screenshot this and make this your screensaver on your phone. It'll be the same as lighting a candle because every time you use your phone, right, you're clicking on it. So you're creating a spark of energy. You click it to open it. Whenever you go into different apps, things you're using, right, to use the phone, right? So you'll always see it and it will be a reminder of that boldness, right? And he's an ancestor, right? So you're basically honoring an ancestor as well by tapping into that energy. So this is another way you can utilize this. One of the things you want to also do on the herbal side is you could put in your candles, if you're using candle magic, a couple of bay leaves, right? Don't overstuff it, but a couple of bay leaves. And you could light some frankincense as well. Those are both Leo herbs or Leo energetic resonating herbs or roots, if you will, for root work, right? You could also take a bath, right? Light some frankincense, right? Put some bay leaves in the bath. It'll change your body, your electromagnetic frequency. You'll start to be more bold and courageous and things like that by taking a spirit bath simply with some bay leaves. Just different ways to tap into your occult, so-called occult powers or your mystical powers. And it says the best prophets, right? They don't tell you what to do. So I'm not telling you to follow me, right? I'm just giving you tools to use. And I'm just showing the signs and symbols and what's out here and how to see things for yourself and how to raise your kundalini, which is what this year is all about, right? The year of the wood snake. For you to raise your frequency, for you to raise your vibration in this time of Trump, right? In this time where everything is changing. In this time with AI is taking people's jobs, in this time where people are losing their jobs left and right. So you could tap into the power within, so you could be at peace and joy no matter what happens and maintain your high IQ and not be stuck in your emotions, not be stuck in your feelings, not be stuck in, oh, this is happening, that is happening. No, Trump just got shot last year or shot at last year, right? We just had fires in California, and right now nobody's thinking about that shit. Nobody's talking about it, right? Trayvon Martin, police brutality was happening just 2020, 2021. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's advocating for it. Nobody's pushing for it, for any type of change in the police department right now. Because the media runs niggas. Sad to say, but true. The media runs the melanated community. And it is a medium for manipulation. And that's what is being used. But Kendrick, in his genius, was able to use that medium, right? And use the Super Bowl and use the city of New Orleans as a, what do you call that? as a damn, as a dark mirror, if you will, as an obsidian, right? In order to create what he wanted or what effects he wanted to use. And also we have coming up next, just on the mythological aspect, the symbolic aspect, we got the Superman movie that's coming out after this, which is going to have Mr. Terrific, who is a genius melanated man, right? And this is also going to lead to, you know, I said this on Facebook, but I met some kids in a bodega, a couple kids, and they got their own secret society. They do tech, you know what I'm saying? And they do a lot of other things which I won't say on the internet, but it's mainly through computers and stuff like that. And they were showing me some stuff, and they call themselves Wakandans, right? And they're not on the internet. There's no website where you're going to find them, but they're here in the Bronx, and they call themselves Wakandans. And they are doing their thing. And they're only like 16, 17. So I can imagine when they turn like 30, you know what I'm saying? 25, 30, man, what they're going to be doing and the type of creations and inventions they're going to make. So myths matter, right? Symbolism matters. No, it's not the only thing that matters, right? But I hate to hear these niggas that's like, oh, it's just a symbol. Like, what are we going to do with symbols? Nigga, Jesus is a symbol. Look at what Caucasian people did with the symbol of Jesus all over the world, right? Look at how melanated people, right? And I've even seen this when I was locked up. The toughest niggas, right? The most hardcore niggas to black people, so-called black people, will turn into cream puff, kiss asses when a Caucasian comes around. When the guards come around, they all nice and smiling and friendly, but they got mean mugs and grills for you. I've seen this in the street, right? Go watch the movie White Boy Rick. How the fuck was White Boy Rick so easily accepted by melanated people in the community and untouched and protected? If you know, if a nigga came in that was a black boy, he'd have went through all sorts of shit amongst other melanated people. This is what white Jesus have done to the subconscious, just the image and the mythological backing found in the Bible. So to say that symbols don't matter is stupid. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Myths and mythology matters. Some of the highest grossing movies are these Marvel movies, or these superhero movies. Why? Because they're a reflection of higher ideals and lower ideals. They're a reflection of the self. So myths always matter. Movies, right? These movies, these shows generate so much money, these stories, because myths matter. Myths matter. If you don't have a myth, then your black life doesn't matter. There's no mythology behind it, then it's worthless. If you're trying to live in reality, when you create your reality through your imagination, you create your reality through your imagination. If you want your life to become better, know that you are enough. Know that you have everything within yourself right now. Whatever you're going through, whatever habit you have, know that everything is within you to create the life that you want to live in the here and now. But you got to do some work to get it. And the first work starts with repairing the mental. Your thoughts, your thought forms, your ideas, your visions, the way you see the world, the shit you take into your brain the first thing in the morning, the shit you take into your brain the first thing at night. You got to discipline yourself. Men, discipline your dicks. Stop jerking off all crazy. All right? If you're addicted to that PlayStation, take a day off in the game just so you could do it. Take a day off. Take 2 days off just to see if you could do it, so that those emotions don't control you, so that that porn won't control you. You might have to take a break from a girl that's toxic or a man that's toxic, even though the sex is amazing, because they're not good for you, just so you can make space for somebody else that's better for you. And you could focus your attention and your energy on visualizing them and becoming that which you want to attract. But if you're still going back to them, that ex that you know is toxic, but got some good, you know, good box or some good pole, right? You're going to stay stuck in that same frequency and vibration because you haven't made any changes. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. I know this isn't popular because I'm not talking about aliens And I'm not telling you about Nibiru, and I'm not telling you about demons and, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. But this is practical magic, folks. And I've seen it work in my life in various ways, in many ways, and it continues to work. And I can only tell you what's practical. I can only tell you what brings me peace. I can only tell you what brings me joy. I can only tell you what attracts beautiful, wise women to me, what attracts wonderful, wise, strong men to me. I can only tell you what helps me manifest money here and there and everywhere. I can only tell you what helps me manifest trips here and there and everywhere and opportunities, right? I can only tell you what works for me. Only you know what works for you, because you have your own purpose here in life and you have to discover that for yourself. So my job is to give you tools to help guide you, but tap into this full moon energy the best way you can, right? I've given you tools that you could use, but the signs and symbols are all here that this energy is for you to take over America. For you to take over America in your own way. And even if you got to take it over, not in a, and again, this is what the movie is going to be about, because Sam Wilson, Captain America, doesn't have super serum like Steve Rogers does, right? He has no super serum. All he has is strategy and his mind. So I'll be interested in seeing how he takes out the Red Hulk, right? Who is physically stronger. And this is what America looks like, right? They got more guns, more weapons, right? They're more organized, right? But with enough strategy, right? With the right collective, right? You too could defeat the Red Hulk. Never be defeatist. Never think because this happened in history with Malcolm and Martin and Medgar Evers, and all of them, that it's going to happen in 2025 and beyond. We're in a new time, with a new frequency, with a new energy. And align with people that support you, quote unquote allies, that have the same frequency, have the same mindset, no matter what color or culture they come from. Don't put yourself in a black box of blackness, right? That's not going to get you anywhere. I learned from Bashar, who is definitely not melanated, right? I like listening to Bashar. You know, I like listening to what's her name? Abraham Hicks, right? Who is not melanated. I like listening to what's his name? Greg Braden, who's not melanated, right? But they all speak spirit and teach spiritual truth. So align with those. What's the other dude? Robert Ward Grant, I believe his name is Robert Ward Grant, right? I listen to him. I'll see his stuff on Instagram a lot, right? Frederick Dodson, right? These people are not melanated people, but they're on the same frequency that I'm on. They're on the same frequency of magic, mysticism, spirituality, metaphysics, right? The practical shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Not Nibiru coming and fucking hitting the planet and save you. Not what the archons are doing. Fuck them archons. You be an archon. You be an archangel against the archons. That's the magic. That's the magic. So you could tap in, right? If you want to wear some spiritual gear, tap into Temps of the Order, right? We got apparel, high vibes only, right? We got Marcus Garvey for the hustler in you, right? Channeling some money, right? Marcus Garvey was a hustler, right? You could tap in, wear this stuff, Garvey Grind and Shine, right? Black Star Line. You fuck with them aliens, you want that alien energy, tap into Anunnaki. The Honorable Anunnaki, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who saved and built businesses and things like that, right? Peace, power, and prosperity, which y'all know is my mantra, right? You could drink it as well. Drink that energy up. Baphomet Bobby. You know what I'm saying? Tap in. RobBlackStorm.net, RobBlackStorm.net, RobBlackStorm.net. If you're looking for any consultations, you know what I'm saying? You can hit me up. Instagram, Facebook, Rob Blackstorm. And you can hit the like button, or you could just hit the like button, hit the donate button, and I appreciate that as well. And with that being said, I am going to tap out. I don't see any questions here. Yeah, so I'm going to tap out. If you got a question, I'll drop it real quick. I'm just looking at the comments. Yeah, Cash. Birds won't eat that McDonald's. They won't eat it. They won't eat it. A lot of dogs won't eat McDonald's. Straight up and down. But hey, do you? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like you want to eat it, hey, who am I to tell you? I'm just here to tell you the truth, though. You know what I'm saying? The rest is up to you. Peace, power, and prosperity. I'll see y'all soon.